it looks like the stream is holding. So hello Ivona. I'm going to start, I'm going to just dive straight in for the astrodoodle for the evening and see how we go. So just hang in there, be patient. If anyone else is around, please check in, please hang out amongst yourselves, introduce yourselves to each other, and we will get on with things. Okay, so hang on. Here we go. I'm going to do this, okay? Here we go. Alright, so just did a little brief intro there. We're live, and I'm going to start working on the astrodoodle for the day, so please bear with me, okay? Now, we're getting there. Okay, let's have a look. Choopy-doo, just try this one. Okay, hold on. Alright, I think we've got this more or less down. I'm going to just finish off loading things up here. Hello, let me just see who's over here. Cree Gray, hello Cree Gray. Karen Clark over there in New Zealand, I see you. She Reeks of Glam. Hello, She Reeks of Glam. Hello from New Zealand, hello to New Zealand. Hello Love Triber. Cree Gray, hello to everyone. Thank you for introducing yourselves. Anybody here's a newbie, please let us know where you are. I'm always very curious. Hello, Love Triber. Hey. Hello, Path. Nice to see you. Tina, good evening. Thank you. Let's have a look. Oh, look. Oh, yeah, we got one on the board already. Wow. Ooh, okay, thanks, Tina. Sorry, Tina can't read. It's okay. But you can type. Yes. Lots of red markers are not allowed. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Well, there is this one as well. I should have put this in. It told me this is... Yeah. Well, what can you do? I mean, this is how things are right now. I don't want to pretend it is what it isn't. I can't do that, really. I don't like to do that. All right, let's just put Tina up here just to sort of set the tone. She Reeks of Glam, Florida. Okay. Tina Miller. We've already got Tina Miller on the board here. Thank you so much for your kind donation. So, In case you haven't done this before, what we do is, Tarot Illumination, we sell these incredibly expensive post-it notes for like $10 a pop. And you get a free mini reading. Ha 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 ha. And your name goes right here. Okay? Now, as you know, some of you know that the show is on a very, very lean footing at the moment. We used to do things like lucky draws for lucky winners. Somebody gets a free astrology reading. Somebody gets a free tarot reading. Somebody gets a booking for whatever it is. All of that stuff is kind of off to the side at the moment. I'm just trying to keep the show alive with the Sunday night events and the Wednesday event, and that's all that we got for the moment. What's this? Yes, I see the note. I see the note. And She Reeks of Glam. You're over in Florida. Okay. I think aren't you getting some big storm there right now? Mm-hmm. Hey, Cree, I've seen you here before. I'm sure I recognize you from that little tiny picture, the little tiny circle that shows up in the chat. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, it's been a while. Thank you. I'm just having a little beverage. So I'll put this over here. Everybody understands. So let's see. The way you can do it, Tina's already done using the super chat. So as you know, the super chat is like just where you type in, there's a little button right underneath it. One of them is like for smiley faces and emoticons. And there's another button, it's a rectangle, and that's where you can do the super chats. Now the super chats come directly to Tarot Illumination through the YouTube's super chat system. But YouTube takes a very large percentage of that. So, and I learned that recently. So I've started to suggest if people want to put the maximum dollar towards Tarot Illumination, you can donate directly through your own PayPal to this email. This is the Tarot Illumination email, alittlebookabout@yahoo.com. There's another way you can actually do it, which I believe is over here. Let me just double check something. And yeah, it should be over here. Let's have a look. So what you can do is there is a place called tarotillumination.com, and that's where people go if you want to get a booking, a reading, or subscribe, or get in touch with private, communications and things. And it's also where you can donate. There's a page, I've got it already listed here. You just donate, click the button, it takes you directly to PayPal. It's the Tarot Illumination PayPal, but you don't have to actually have a PayPal account. You can just, use it like you do with like your online shopping things, and you just swipe your debit card. Okay, so that's how that works. So yeah, there's several ways you can do the super chat. You can do super chat, donate directly with your own PayPal, or you can go to the Tarot Illumination donation page and work through the PayPal, even if you don't have one. Alrighty, so there we go. So we're kind of on board. Let's have a look. Let me go back over here. So I'm going to check in with you guys in just a moment. I just want to set up the astrodoodle for the day. Now, some of you know, we just started on the Scorpio new moon over the weekend, okay? And right now, the moon has already moved past, and it's already in the sign of Sagittarius. So, I don't know if you've noticed it, but typically I feel it like for two or 3 days before the new moon. That would have been the end of last week. And for a couple of days just after the new moon, things feel very, very like tender, very delicate, very soft, very quiet. And then the energy starts to pick up. So the moon was right here yesterday, more or less yesterday and a little bit the day before on Friday night. And things were very mellow. That's for me personally. But now, moon is shifting over here to Sagittarius. Over here, basically, this is we're shooting this from the Pacific West Coast in America on Pacific time. So this is what it looks like from here. But in New Zealand, of course, it'll look just slightly different because the moon is probably moved a little bit farther on over here, for example. Okay, and then we have. Let's just go through the basics. I'll show the absolute basics. Hello, Melissa. Sorry. I can't miss that. Very bright, shiny 20 on the screen there. Melissa Lawrence, got it. Gotcha. And Cree Gray, yes. Thank you, Cree. Okay. So let's put that over here. And we also got another one that just popped in from Cree. Thank you, Cree. All right, super duper. Well, we're off to a really good start. So this is where we are right now. Okay, so we're just starting the Scorpio new moon. Okay, that's for everybody. This is a reading for Earth, the whole of planet Earth. As you know, we always start with Aries on the horizon over here and Libra on the descendant over here. And as you know, if you've watched the show before, this could affect you like this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this, whatever, depending what your sun sign is, or your moon sign, or your rising sign. But you know, the planets are what they are. They just do what they do. They don't care about us. They don't know about us. They just do what they do. And they're just living in their gravitational orbits around the sun. And we view it from Earth. And the way we see it from Earth, it looks sort of like this. So that's why we get the retrogrades now and again. Some of you are probably aware that we still have 2 retrogrades at the moment. Uranus in Taurus is still retrograde, and Neptune in Pisces is still retrograde. But otherwise, the rest of them have all moved on. Mars just flipped direct the other day, yesterday I think it was. So now Mars is actually moving. You know, it was going backwards for weeks and weeks and weeks. And now it's starting to go direct again. So Mars is kind of stationary. It's hovering right here. But it's eventually going to move back in this direction. And next year it's going to be into the sign of Taurus. But for the rest of the year, Mars is going to be with us in Aries. And as some of you have noticed, it's a very combustible angle. In fact, I'm just going to... Sorry, Path, I'm just going to do this because I know it's not exactly to the degrees, but I feel it like this, okay? I feel it like this, and the most important, well, all of it's important, but the things that really jump out to me right now is this very harsh polarity between Venus and Mars. You know, Venus and Mars are supposed to be like the romance and love planets, and the passion and the love, and you can learn a lot from the polarities when you have an opposition like this, okay? And it's sometimes really difficult, especially because Mars has been retrograde. Now it's turning direct. Mars can be very forceful and very assertive in Aries, especially when it is direct. And when it goes retrograde, it becomes very uncomfortable. It's like an animal in a cage. And so, with the last few weeks, you might have noticed that we've had a lot of violence in the United States and protests. It's become very violent. I look at it this way. This is the energy of violence here. This is very uncomfortable energy in terms of relationships. Ourselves and the other, ourselves and the other. I think of it as the person and the person, or Americans versus Americans. Protester versus protester. And sometimes it gets very violent. And now at this moment in time, we have multiple hard squares here, of course, because Venus is in Libra in very tight angles to Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. This is very uncomfortable when it comes to relationship dynamics. Now, it might be a very subdued discomfort, but the discomfort is there. I've got the other aspects here. I'm not going to bother with them. There's this quincunx here, a little bit of a trine here, a bit of a trine here. But this is the one that probably disturbs me the most. This we've talked about before. I see this as fraud, deception, betrayal, and lies on a global scale. And I think this is coming out in global politics, okay, all over the world. You know, who's right, who's wrong, who's the liar, who's telling the truth? The people who are fake are trying to make their things look like truth, and the people who are living in truth are made to look like fake. So it's very difficult to understand, depending on which side of the equation you lie. Yeah, so Ivona just made a point. Oh, hold on. She reeks of glam. I just donated to your PayPal under Sheffield, our Sheffield. Oh, okay. Oh, so, you know what? I'll take your word for it. I'll just put it over here. I don't think I can fit your whole. She reeks of glam. I like that. It's a funny, cool name. I wonder if I can do it all in one word. She reeks of glam. That's a tight squeeze. Anyway, thank you very much. Okay, here we go. What degree of Scorpio is the new moon? Well, it's about the middle of the month, so I guess I would say let me just double check. I can find out for you. Just hang in there. I'm going to find out the exact degrees. And what I have here, well, the sun is in 24, moon is in 24. That's already gone. Okay. So it's a late Scorpio. And, okay, so the new moon over here, because you asked, I think Tina, you asked, the new moon is over here in 24 degrees, 23 degrees, I'll just call it 24. 24 degrees of Scorpio, okay? So it's late Scorpio. We're already mostly the way through the Scorpio season. Soon we're going to be in Sagittarius season for about 30 days. And then it's going to be Capricorn season and heading into 2021. So we've talked about this a few times. Things are going to be very different, okay, in 2021. I'll just mark that over here. We're building up to it now. I don't know if you're going to be feeling it, but we're building up to it now. That doesn't really show up very well, does it? But anyway, we're building it up to it now. And over the next 2 months, basically the rest of the Scorpio season, rest of Sagittarius, and a good chunk of Capricorn season, there's a lot of pressure going to be building up as Jupiter and Saturn prepare to move into the sign of Aquarius over here. This is the 11th house, hopes, wishes, and dreams, the way people describe it in Western astrology. It's the house of humanity, the house of, it's a very selfless type of energy. It's what's good for the masses, what is good for the people, what do we need to do to make things good for the people, okay? Yes, Tina, I saw your note there. You would have already had your high pressure moment earlier in the month when the Scorpio sun was at 15 degrees around here. Mercury is at about 10 or 12 degrees right now. And that's in a pretty hard opposition here to Uranus and Taurus. So we have, the thing is, some of these aspects have been going on for so long and they linger that you kind of don't notice them after a while, you know? So we have this one right now, which is really uncomfortable, okay? It's all about facing off in relationships. In some ways it can be very violent, very rude, very unwanted, very unexpected. Over here we've got, let's say, radical potential for surprises in communication, especially when it comes to money on a global scale, because we're talking about, on the global scale, the 8th house and the 2nd house, okay? In full opposition to each other. Mercury, the planet of commerce and business, opposing Uranus and Taurus, Taurus being the sign of money and Uranus being the planet of miracles, disruption, freedom, and liberation. So that's pretty combustible. This is very combustible. This is very, very unhealthy aspects in love and relationships. And this is a highly volatile, I would say violent aspect in relationship dynamics here, because this whole thing is a massive, loose, wobbly T-square, and it's happening right now. All you have to do is look at American politics, and you can see how unstable things are becoming. In fact, a lot of these revolutions and protests are happening all over the world. Well, guess what happens when we move into Aquarius energy? It's going to get very radical, very choppy, very revolutionary, highly unpredictable in the way things are going to happen. Let's have a look. Okay, everybody, I think we're here. We'll start with the show in a moment. I'm going to be referencing this throughout the show, most likely. But for anyone who's new, or just a reminder, good evening and welcome. It is the live mini readings here at Tarot Lumination by donation, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, USA, Sunday, 15th of November, 2020. And let's get started. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can probably take another 2, maybe another 2 readings, maybe 3 if we're lucky. We'll see how things go. Cheers, everybody. Hello, Starcy. I see you. I'm just going to tuck this aside for now. Tuck this aside for now. I don't need that over here. Keep this out of harm's way. Got to tuck this one away. I just want to keep it simple. I like the KISS rule, which is keep it simple, silly. So I'm just going to shuffle up the deck. It's already well shuffled in advance, but I'm going to go again live in front of you as a witness so that you know you're getting a clean shuffle. Hold on, let me just say hello to everybody first. I forgot about that. You know, I am alive. Yay! Good evening, this is Tarot Lumination. Welcome. Thank you all for visiting here tonight. Thank you for your kindness and generosity. We're going to do a handful of live mini readings. It's just like what happens when you have a tarot party. I don't know if any of you have ever hosted or attended or enjoyed a tarot party. Some people do that, where sometimes you see them at little, like, you know, psychic festivals and spiritual events and things. But what can happen is, and I've done this a couple of times, like somebody says, okay, I'm going to have a party. I just want a party. Maybe it's their birthday or an anniversary or something, or they just want to celebrate and they are going to host a tarot party. So what they can do is they can send a pile of money to Tarot Illumination for maybe to book 5 readings or something like that, little mini readings like we do here, but we do it all in private at a little private tarot party. And I arrange all the things with the Zooms and everything like that so you can see each other. Everyone's there live in person. And we can all chat and talk to each other. It's kind of fun. So that's one thing we can do. Yeah, I would just kind of mix it up. But for now, tonight, I'm trying to keep it really, really simple. Some of you know I have a little show on Wednesday where I kind of vent my opinions, and it gets quite heated sometimes. I start ranting and going all over the place about global politics and everything. And otherwise, things are just the way they are right now on the channel. Very, very mellow. We've only got the 2 shows per week. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to catch up. But for some reason, I'm finding it very, very hard to allocate the time and the energy to do what has to be done. And in some ways, the only way to really do it is start a whole new channel. But easier said than done. So, anyway, we're here right now, live. Thank you all for being here. Let me just check, see if I missed anybody on the check-in. Let's have a look here. Starzy, hello Starzy, yes. Path, greetings over there in Kentucky. Love Drivers over here in Las Vegas, yay. The home of Boo Boo, Bubba, and Bonnie. Tina's over there in Katy, Texas. Hello, Tina. And who else? She Reeks of Glam, Florida. Thank you. And also Ivona over there up in New York. And Melissa. I forgot where you are, Melissa. I forgot. I think it's somewhere up like the Illinois, isn't it? Oh, I can't remember. And then there's Cree. I can't remember where you are, Cree. Who did I miss? Ivona, you were here right at the beginning. Hello, Ivona. And hello, Karen, over there in New Zealand. Just be careful if you're driving. Don't watch this show, okay? Path wants to place bets on the red markers. How bad is it going to be, people? Yeah. All right, so let's get rolling. We got a show to do here. So if you're new to this, you've never done it before, but you're still kind of curious, just watch and hang out. Sometimes these readings have a kind of ripple effect that goes around the world, and it has a sort of secondary meaning to other people besides the actual guest who booked the reading itself, okay? Cree is over there in South Carolina. Melissa Lawrence, Virginia. Okay, I completely screwed that up. It's okay. Path Traveler is going to get a channel just so she can rent. Excellent. Well, maybe we could arrange that on here. Yeah. Astro Noodles. I've never heard that one before. Hello, TL has many blessings. No, it says hello, TL, many blessings. Sorry, I reinterpreted that in a very sort of self-flattering kind of way. But thank you anyway. Hello, Starzy. Virginia. Ha, 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 ha. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. So, over in New Zealand, they're heading into summertime. And I guess the same for Australia. Queen of Water is not here this evening. I don't see her anywhere, but sometimes she pops in and she's over in Australia. Who knows, we might have a few visitors from Western Europe or Canada or South America. Sometimes you don't know where people are going to be coming from. Okay, all right, let's go over here. Let's get down to business. So let's just get started with the show, and if there's anyone out there who's still watching but you've never done it before and you want to have a chance and you're not too shy about having your reading done in public, then just watch what happens, and if you want to get to it, I can handle about 2 more readings this evening. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 already booked. I can handle a couple of more. And hello, Blue Butterfly. I know you've been here before because I got a bit of a tongue twister over this one a while back. I kept saying Blue Butterfly. Blue Butterfly is in Canada. All right, let's have a look. Tina's over here. Melissa's going to move up now to the spot here. Then Cree's over here. And then she reeks of glam over there from Florida. There we go. Hello, Blue Butterfly. Hello, Robin. Good to see you. Cree Gray, South Carolina. Actually, no, I'm going to put that on here. So I have South Carolina. Got that. And Melissa Lawrence is Virginia. Okay. I like knowing where people are. She reeks of glam. Now, did you tell me where you are? Wait a minute. Florida. I think you said Florida, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Florida. Okay, so I got it right there. Florida, South Carolina, Virginia, Texas. Okay. And Blue Butterfly is where? I can't remember. I just can't remember. All right, let's clear the space, folks. It's time to get serious here. All right, Tina, I'm just going to go wild, go blind, okay? Let's see what's going on. That's right. Chat amongst yourselves now, because once I get going on this stuff, I kind of get into a little bit of a trance and I can't really follow the chat so easily. Sometimes I get things that jump out. Let's have a look. Montreal. Montreal. Oh, you know what? Blue Butterfly? Guess what? I can relate. Blue Butterfly. Blue Butterfly. My mom has since passed away, but she's got that French Canadian blood inside of her. And she was from the Quebec, Montreal kind of area. Came from a farming family. And so I had many stories and many experiences of very, very cold, snowy winters in Vermont. Yeah. So I'm kind of a four seasons person, but I've lived in other climates too. Oh, wait a minute. Robin just popped in with something. It says here, Robin's wrong. How will it turn out with two Virgos I'm in disagreement with? Uh-oh. God. I wouldn't want to be in a disagreement with two Virgos. Because, you know, Virgos can be so particular and so fussy and so almost obsessed with getting things right that it's almost like it's almost oh gosh, it's almost like it's like, oh gosh, well, I'm not saying you can't win. It's not about the winning necessarily. We'll see what happens when we get to your reading, okay, Robin? But the Virgo energy, as you know, they can be very scientific, very analytical, very precise, and very particular in the way things are and the way they should be, and things that do not comport or conform with their concepts of how exactly things should be. I could easily see the Virgos becoming a bit of a challenge. And that's without giving you a reading. Okay. Hello, Samantha Rosa Vita. I know you've been here before. I remember that name. Hello, Samantha. Good evening and welcome. All right, so we're going to get on with the show. I've got 4 bookings already. Let's have a look here. So we've got 4 definitive bookings already. Actually, we got 5 because Robin just booked something. And I got room for 1 or 2 more, maybe one more. Robin's Realms readings. And she's very curious. And Robin is over there in Texas too. And she's concerned about what's going on with these 2 Virgos. All right, so we'll put that over here. Tuck that over here. And we'll get on with your show. Okay. What's the matter, Samantha? You're crying. What's the matter? Are you upset about something? Oh dear. All right. How's it going, by the way, Tina, with the dogs? I'm kind of curious. I know you've just lived through so much in the last year. You know, we've done multiple readings together. You've lived so much changes and upheavals in the last year, and it sounds like it's not over yet. Just in the last couple months, there were just so many changes and upheavals, and then you were worried about your own health, and then you were concerned about the dogs. So I'm sure not just myself, but Path and Love Driver would also like to know what's going on with the dogs. All right, let's have a look here. All right, let's have a look here. Good news. Okay, all right, that's what we need. Let's have a look. So we're going to go on a blind reading here. Thank you, Tina. Here's the situation. Now we're using, in case you have never seen this before, you're watching the show for the first time, I use the Tarot Lumination Situational Spread. It's super ultra simple, and it's really like a diagnostic tool Okay, here's the situation, here's the challenges, here's how we're going to handle it, and then we're going to have a look at the external energies, like the influences, external influences, okay? And I look at that as weather, and of course, I personally like to blame it all on the planets, but it could be something specific, as you know, Tina, and we'll figure it out when we get there. But let's get, hold on, I gotta make a note of this while it's here. That's probably going to be the last reading of the evening. Jennifer Rubino. Hi, Teal. I would like a mini reading. You were spot on with my energy last time. Okay. Thank you. That's good enough for me. Just remind everybody where you are, okay, Jennifer? I like to put the different states and countries in the world where people are. Okay, so over here, right now we're going to be reading for Tina, okay? These are the other folks who are lined up to have readings tonight. I'm going to actually take this away because I'm not sure if I can take any more readings after that. Let's have a look. I'm going to put this one over here. In fact, I'm going to just pile these up a little bit, if you don't mind, everybody, just to make a bit of room so we know where we are. We don't get all confused. All right. Oh, it's a bit of a mess. But anyway, like, I think you get the picture. Okay. I love my post-it notes, as you can tell. All right, so here we go. All right, Tina, you're up. So, I'm sensing a lot of strength, Tina, right now. Like a lot of strength and vitality. Whether you're feeling it or you're aware of it, I don't know, but it feels like vitality. If you're, hold on, I just saw that. New Jersey, okay. Now, again, because of that Scorpio energy, it might be relevant to you in such a way that you're starting to feel like you're in your own game, your own turf, where at least to some degree things are lining up for you in your life, ways that maybe they don't always do, but now is a good time, like Scorpio season, you know. I think of it as the 12 Western astrological signs as kind of little like miniature seasons, and we live through them, okay? I'm just going to turn on some air here. Hold on. All right. That's all I needed. Just a little hint of air. There we go. All right, so I've got, oh, wow, okay, Emperor. Okay, to me this feels like it's kind of simple. To me it feels like a double message. Tina, if you're not feeling as though like you are in your power, if you're not feeling like you have control and mastery of your world and your destiny, then I guess it's partly my job to make you feel like you are aware, and you have to become aware of your stature in life in this world at this moment in time during the Scorpio season. And this is a good place to be. To me, this feels like something well deserved and well earned, where you are in a position of power, irrefutable power, and it's advantageous for you, and in such a way that a lot of this red stuff doesn't matter. Okay, sure, for the Scorpios, there's a big long-term opposition going on with Uranus and Taurus. So you probably already have experience with this, okay, Tina, because Uranus and Taurus has been here for over a year already. We've got a few years to go. And it indicates surprises, radical shifts, changes, unexpected turnarounds, miracles, spontaneous changes and awakenings and evolutionary leaps in relationships, especially relationships with very significant others, okay? Sun opposite Uranus. Uranus opposite Sun. Now, in a dynamic like that, there would be a profound need for freedom. Either other people's need for freedom from you, or your need for freedom from other people. Like anything in the world of very, very important one-on-one key relationships in your life, anything that restricts or blocks or hinders or suffocates movement and freedom and the sense of your ability to grow, it has to go in some way, shape, or another. It's very important. And also, for other very significant people in your life, it might feel as though either you might want to be released from them, or they might want to be released from you in such a way that there's actually no point in trying to, force a certain type of relationship to happen. And it's better, like, if somebody wants to go, go. If you want to go, go. If someone else wants to go, just go. And don't question it, don't doubt it, just allow nature to be what it is. And just stay in your own power. You just mind your own business. You just take care of yourself. Make sure that you are number one. Make sure you maintain your position of number one. Maintain your sense of power, authority, your strength, your courage, everything. I'm looking at this in a very, very positive light, okay? Like, it takes a long time to be able to get into the Emperor energy. The great thing about the Emperor energy is that it's great when it works really well. There is a shadow side to the Emperor energy in that if that energy is abused, it's like the energy of a malicious dictator. It can really come back to bite you. But you're not that kind of person, okay, Tina? You're much more the kind of very generous, kind, benefic leader, ruler, monarch, in your life, in your world, whether it's just for yourself or your family or your extended family. This, to me, is very encouraging. And of course, you want to play to your strengths. What's the situation? Okay, so with the King of Cups here, my feeling is that this energy here is not anything that you can take for granted or that you are taking for granted, because the reality is, for you to get to this position in life where you are right now, where certain things you could say are lining up for you in a way that is good. Let's just say good overall, whatever that is. Attitude, a sense of growth, evolution, adaptation, stability, security, finances, health, sense of identity, sense of sovereign self, all of that stuff is good, but it has come through tremendous effort and tremendous pressure of having to sustain a very loving, selfless, but very self-aware attitude during very emotionally turbulent and challenging times over a very extended period of time. And this needs to be recognized. And to me, it feels like right now, Tina, you need to, it would be really good to celebrate yourself and kind of, it doesn't mean necessarily to have a party, but you could easily just sit around in your living room and kind of look at your world around you, daydream a little bit, and realize, life isn't so bad. Like, there is a bit of a ticking clock in life, but right now, where things are at this moment, at this very moment in time, where there are plenty of people on earth who are having tremendous challenges, okay? Here, 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 and here. You're actually in a bit of a sweet spot. And let's blame it on the planets just a teeny bit, because this Scorpio energy is heavily supported by this extremely powerful alignment here in Capricorn with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. So let's just say that's working on your side. The reality check police have given you the green light, okay? Like, you've done well, you're doing well, keep it up, Tina. You deserve a break, you deserve an award, you deserve to be rewarded. What's the challenge here? Okay, so sorry, I'm not laughing out of ridicule. I'm laughing kind of out of fun, because when I see the world here in this position, to me it feels like, what could you possibly be scared of? Well, what if it all falls apart? What if it's the end and it just all turns into just a pile of mush and it's all very short-lived? Okay, fine. I don't particularly see that here, but I felt like I had to mention it. There's another thing going on here. I think it's like you're scared. To me, it feels like there's not. I guess it is a fear that. I think you kind of hinted at this in another reading or another meeting a while back, where even though you've spent all this time and energy transforming and migrating to this new life in Texas, I remember something that you said, which is like maybe I shouldn't be here after all. Maybe I should do something else. And that might be very exciting in some ways. Like, my gosh, I get to start a whole new life. But it could also be a little bit, let's say, unsettling or disturbing, because it's just like, oh my God, I've just started this whole new life and now it looks like I'm scared it might be over. And then, is that really going to happen? And what's my new life going to look like if the old one is over? Where's that going to go? It's a little bit unsettling. So, now these are kind of powerful cards, actually, Tina, when you look at it that way. So you might feel as though things are kind of fated at the moment. And so long as you don't mind the idea that you are guided and protected, then none of this should faze you. But most people, at least if they're honest, have a little bit of fear and trepidation inside them, where, like, just because you're a human being, there's always still the potential that something can go wrong, okay? Like, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And if there are elements in your life right now, Tina, where, if we're honest, there are potential pitfalls or there are some deep fractures going on, like the shift of tectonic plates or the appearance of clearly unreconcilable problems, then that has to be acknowledged. You don't want, in other words, you can't just ride on the sweetness of that green smudge right there. You have to take account for all of that, because this energy is here for everybody. So if you do have some factors in your life right now that, despite all this good stuff that I see for you here, in the bigger picture, like with family, extended family and so on, if there is some kind of either hidden message or a more obvious message coming out, like the story's already over before it even began, then it's important to acknowledge that, okay? And let's see, so, Tina, what's this? Wait, I got caught up, makes sense. Give up Sagittarius South Node and move towards the Gemini North Node. Well, yeah, like, okay, maybe you could like settle down or something and give up the wanderlust, or feeling like you just have to pull up camp as soon as you laid camp and keep moving. I think that Gemini North Node, if that's what you're hinting at, is an indication of just dealing with the day-to-day things as they are, in the truth, in the now, in the moment, and just being grateful and lucky that you have this big, huge, very magnanimous South Node in Sagittarius, if that's what I'm reading here. And that's a good place to come from, but sometimes it can make it difficult to settle down in the moment. Anyway, I wouldn't be scared too much about this. Let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this? Because I see like two layers to the reading. I see the power here. I see all the good stuff here, because it just happens to be in alignment with you and for you. Okay, that stuff here. But we can't pretend that this isn't here. Okay, there's a lot of upheaval and shift and changes going on. So don't be scared. How are we going to deal with that? Okay, the best way to handle things right now is to clearly and openly admit and identify whatever is not working in the world of relationships. Okay? because relationships are emphasized here directly along this axis. Not so much along here, because this is very harmonious, but relationships in general for everybody are heavily, let's say, challenged on Earth right now. Here and here. And if you're in a situation where some relationships with where you don't know where you stand, you can blame it on this aspect here, because the Gemini North Node is under a lot of conflict right now, of trying to figure out what it is and what it's doing in a hard square with Neptune and Pisces. So that's understandable. And so my feeling is the best way to handle this situation, if there is something that is untenable, not working in your life, in your world right now, despite your own integrity, despite your own power, your own sovereign self, and despite your fears that it might all come crashing down or come to an ending, the best thing to do is just openly admit it and deal with it. If you feel like you're being screwed over by someone or a group of people, or if you're aware that you have been, let's say, duped or undermined, the best thing to do is lay it right out in the open, and then you got to reveal it to heal it. So it's just like, like a wounded soldier. Like you, Tina, you know this because if you've been in healthcare, like you can't just keep covering up the wound. Like, oh, I can't do it, I don't want to do it, don't touch me. Eventually, a doctor has to come along and say, okay, let's have a look, see what's going on. Oh, you've got this, you got this. Okay, so we're going to treat it with this, this, and this, and this. So my feeling is that if you are aware that there's some kind of, a virtual ending or a physical ending of something, life, relationships, whatever, then it's best to admit it, deal with it, put it right there, right out in the open. And if it's really sad, really painful, deal with it. The death of someone, the loss of someone, the death of a relationship, the death of a person, the tragedy of a broken up something or other, a family, a person, relative, whatever it is, it's best to just deal with it right out in the open rather than pretend it's not happening, and then kind of lean into your power. Know that you can handle it because you've got so much strength here already. And if it's the end, then it's the end. And then you deal with it. And then you move on, start from scratch, new beginnings. Scorpio, new moon. And everything is, with Scorpio energy, it's very much about birth, procreation, and death. That's Scorpio energy. So if you've lived through a Scorpio cycle where something has been birthed into existence, it is propagated and moved into fullness, and now it has finished its life cycle, it's better just to admit that and move on. Okay? All right, let's have a look here. So I just want to check in with Tina. Hold on. Tina, so that was kind of a broad spectrum reading, but I was feeling it very much from here that you're in a position of strength. And if you're not aware of it, you need to know that you are, and you can handle whatever it is that's not working. Whatever it is where you might feel as though you're kind of at a point of futility where some things are maybe broken beyond repair. Sometimes it's better just to admit it. And because that's what happens. It's just like watching a tree die, or a plant die, or one of your favorite pets die. Or if you've been betrayed and the trust is broken, that's a kind of a death, a very scorpionic theme. It's better just to admit it and deal with it. Rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace. Bless your enemies, bless the ones you love, and then move on. Death of an old mask. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, it's your reading, Tina. You can interpret however you want. Death of an old mask, that means birth of a new mask. Well, actually, not birth of a new mask. It's birth of the true face, the true Tina. Let's put it that way. See, the words, you have to be very careful with the words and the tone of the words. Death of an old mask. You can interpret that as like, oh, the death of an old mask, the birth of a new mask. But when I read it again, I kept thinking, no, it's the death of an old mask. The mask is removed and coming to birth into your own power, into your own light, into your own strength, into your own integrity, into your own sovereign self with no apologies. Your true self, your true power. Okay? And then let whatever happens, happens. If other people can't handle it, it's not their fault. You can't save everybody. Best thing you can do is love thyself. And extend that to others when you feel you have the time and the capacity and energy to do so, which you already do. Okay, Tina, thank you. I hope that helps. All right, Melissa, you're up. Jennifer's over there in New Jersey. We got that already. All right, let's clear that one up. I hope that helped you, Tina. At least get some light. Give you like a, a boost, a sense of perspective. Of course, you can reinterpret, reanalyze, fit it into your specific world, your needs. Next up is Melissa, over there in Virginia, USA. And we have Cree in South Carolina, Sharice of Lamb, Florida, Robin there in Texas, Jennifer in New Jersey. All right. I'm just going to make a little bit more room over here. Let's have a look. Okay, now... Just want to check something. Give me a second, Melissa. I'm just going to scroll back here. Way back to the beginning. Something doopy-doopy-doo. Okay, so Tina, we did your reading about the now. Yep, I think we got that. Melissa, okay, we're going to go on a blind reading for Melissa and a blind reading for Cree. Okay. Oops, I don't do jumpers, flyers, and I haven't done oracle cards for probably a year and a half. I'm just keeping it super simple these days. Simple doesn't mean easy. Simple's good. I like the KISS rule. Keep it simple, silly. Now, for other viewers out there, I'm pretty certain that Melissa has worked with me before. I'm certain that we have. I don't keep a lot of records in my brain. I keep the files and recordings from personal readings and so on. I keep them for a few weeks until the storage is full, and then I delete them, and I just make sure that the clients own their files already. So if anyone's who's watching, they're too shy to do a public reading like this, but you want a reading for yourself, you can book a reading through Tarot Illumination. You go to tarotillumination.com, and it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Otherwise, you can get these little mini readings here, which are fun and informative. The thing about if we do private consultations, of course, it's private, and we can go into much greater depth, and we can talk about anything. Because there's no community guidelines. Yay. I don't have to worry about the censorship and things like that. Third time, okay. Okay. Cree's going for the love issue. I'll just mark that here. Love for 100. And this is the game. All right. All right, here we go. Everybody settled. Thank you very much. Hope you're all having a super evening. Hope you're all getting yourselves tuned in and lined up with the energies of this beautiful Scorpio new moon. Bless this deck. Bless every single card. Bless everyone who's watching. Bless the channel and the platform, the technology, the computers, the softwares, the internet, the cables, the microphones, the lights, all of it. Everything that allows us to do this. The Zoom systems and everything. All right, here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Love is all right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I look at this as weather. I look at it just like you would watch a weather map. I have a little app where I check my weather frequently. So we've got the 7 of Wands here. So to me, this is actually kind of encouraging. To me, it indicates that it's like, feels to me like you've got your act together, maybe more than you know. Maybe if you're not used to, let's say, doing okay, maybe you just need a reminder that you're actually doing okay. You need to know that even though you might feel as though you're being stressed by multiple, let's just go straight to the chart. So Melissa, even if you feel, let's say with the 7 of Wands here, those 7 wands represent a lot of these red hot spots over here, like here, 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 here. All of that stuff is very stressful. These are really exceptional. This is a lot of red ink, okay? And it affects all of us in one form or another. Personally, so that you know everybody, I'm having a very, very mellow time right now. I feel very tuned into this energy here. It's very mellow and supportive. So no matter how rough this is, I'm coping with it personally. But for you, Melissa, it makes me feel as though you're very acutely aware of the stress factors that are going on in the planets right now, and they are affecting you directly in a very personal way. And you're not taking it personally, you're dealing with it in a very courageous, magnanimous, let's say, responsible and very capable way. And you, in the traditional look of this, you're the one who's in the strong position, okay? So you can deal with it. Whatever kind of adversities you're dealing with in your life right now, Melissa, you can handle it, and you will continue to handle it. Even though it might feel stressful, it's the kind of stress that you can handle, okay? Now let's have a look at the situation itself. Okay, so a lot of folks think of this as to do with past lives, past life love and relationships. It could also be a yearning for having the kind of bond that you might have experienced in a past life, where you've already experienced love. You already know what love is. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. I want to know what love is. Here in this present day, in this lifetime. Because my feeling is that, we've still got Neptune retrograde. We still got Uranus retrograde for a while. And you might be in a situation, to me, I'm just going to give you my version of it. To me, it feels like you're tuning into yourself in a very kind of introspective way. Looking at life and love and relationships with a deep sense of nostalgia, having already known in past lives what it's like to love and be loved in a way that is delicious and harmonious. And also how easy it is for love energies to kind of dissolve and fracture and wither away, because it takes work. Being loving and being loved is the energy of love in action, the healing power of love in action. if you think of this, okay, hold on. Okay, so Melissa, if you think of love as an energy field, and it's not something you can take for granted, it's something that you have to understand and learn. The way I try to do it is I try to invoke the healing power of love into my life from up above, into body, mind, heart, and soul, okay? And soul, in such a way so that I own it. So it's like filling up the gas tank with the healing power of love. And I'm not necessarily saying romantic love. I'm just saying love in the sense of an energy field, about being able to be loving and be loved. Being able to be loving and being able to receive love. And when I see that little Six of Cups there for you, Melissa, what I'm sensing is that you already know what that is. Maybe not quite so much in this lifetime, but in a past life, you've already had a deep, rich experience of having been loved and having been very loving with someone. And to me, it feels like yearning for that same thing now in this lifetime. And the reason that subject matter is being brought to the surface is because it feels to me like it's not actually happening right now. In fact, it's sort of the opposite. You're experiencing and you're aware of a lot of things that don't work and that are not working and that should work in a very pure, loving relationship dynamic. You would already know what that is like, okay? And so sometimes you can't be aware of something in its fullness unless you have an awareness of what it is not. Okay, this is a very physical world that we live in. It's a three-dimensional world, and we learn through the experience of love and what is not love. Love, when there is the absence of love, that can be very painful. So what my feeling is here is that you have known love. You know what it's like to be loving and know what it's like to be loved mutually and one way. Like you've loved someone but they didn't respond to you. Someone loved you but you didn't respond to them. But you know what love is. And to me it feels like you wish you could have that in your life right now, rather than having to deal with the problems that you actually do have. For example, if you already are in a loving relationship, but things are a bit choppy or bumpy or rocky right now, sometimes we yearn for the past. Okay, we yearn for those moments when everything was really sweet. Now, let's have a look. What's the challenges here? Okay, now, I'm kind of a little scared to turn this into a love reading or relationship reading, but that's kind of what I'm sensing here. With the Eight of Pentacles, to me this little Six of Cups feels very strong. And so that's why I'm sensing kind of a loving theme to the reading, Melissa, in some way, shape, or another. And then when I see this in a loving context, I look at Pentacles as evidence of love, measurable evidence of love. And so in this position, in this reading with the situational spread, where we're dealing with the problems and challenges, to me it feels like you might be questioning whether love is worth it. Is it worth putting all the effort into loving in order to be loved? But then again, at the pure sense that you already know, you don't love in order to be loved. You love for the sake of loving. And then it becomes a miracle or a blessing or a gift when you are loved in return. Be loving and be loved. And when it's not happening in a way that would be, let's say, to your liking in this lifetime, at this very moment in time right now, where you are questioning the whole concepts of love, the whole worthiness of love. Like, why bother to love? Why bother to invest so much time and energy and purpose and sense of mission and dedication to love when, it can so easily fall apart, or you can just, for all you know, the next day things can become really unglued. And so you would have to be questioning yourself regarding the investment, the investment of love. Is it worth it? Or am I just like beating myself up? Am I just pouring resources down a black hole and there's no love in return? And that can be a little bit tragic, okay? So, for example, if there are certain expectations laid around the world of love, whatever that might be, love of self, love of a partner, love of a potential partner, a potential spouse, or a partner or spouse that's already gone, and then wondering like what went wrong, and just like beating yourself up over whatever is not working, that could easily make you doubt whether it's worth even bothering to be loving. I know people who have completely shut themselves off from the world of loving and being loved because they're either too scared, or they got burned, or they don't think that it's worth their while because they're much more interested in things that they can control. Things like their wardrobe, their career, their car, their finances, their social media, or something that they can control. But sometimes in the world of love, when we're talking about genuine love, where we already know in advance that there are going to be moments where we are going to feel betrayed, and where you might end up betraying someone else, even if it's unwitting, it makes it a very scary place to be. And there's a lot at stake when people open up their heart to be loving and be loved. And then when I see the Eight of Pentacles there, and if you've had any kind of conflict, imagine all the chart that I just... Okay, well, hold on. And then you start to, like, is it worth it? I mean, what's the point? Like, it's almost like, well, what's the point, Terra Illumination, in loving when there's no reciprocation, when you're not loved in return? Whether it's from a child, a spouse, a mate, or something. Well, like, what's the point? You invest, and then for what? Okay? So, if, for example, Melissa, you're at a point in life where, let's say you understand what we're talking about here, but it's coming to your realization that there's a lot of hidden layers of conflict and, let's say, dysfunction in the world of love and relationships that is really only coming to the surface now, and it's really making you question and doubt the viability, the balance of it, the truth of it, the value of it at all. Okay, let's have a look. How do we deal with this? Okay, so I got the Three of Pentacles. Maybe this is a career reading. I'm not really sure, but I think it's more to do with love, but I'm talking about love in a very, let's say, an academic sense or a theoretical sense. I'm not necessarily talking about romantic, but when I see the Pentacles here, again, if it's to do with the broad subject of love, the way to handle it with the Three of Pentacles is to remember it's a team effort. Okay, it's not a one-way thing. So in other words, let's just say something is just not working. Or let's just say you're kind of in a challenging spot where you're trying to figure out whatever it is that's not working in love. To the point where you're so frustrated, like, is it even worth bothering? And then I think the Three of Pentacles here is like a very gentle reminder that it might be worth a few extra bits of effort on the understanding that you have to remember that there's like teamwork when it comes to love. And if love is a very one-sided thing in a relationship, that's not healthy. That can be like sacrificial energy, or like the energy of martyrdom. And that's not really love. That's actually not a loving energy at all. It's more like a way to escape having to sort out your own energies that are dysfunctional. Some people saturate themselves in other people's problems so they don't have to deal with their own problems. So my feeling here is that with the Three of Pentacles, the way to handle a situation, whatever it is that's not working for you, to the point where you're considering, is it even worth bothering at all? Why put in all this work and all this effort into my life when, you end up having to deal with so many things that don't work? That's a kind of a, can you see how you get a negative feedback loop with that perspective? Look, Melissa just put some notes. It says here. It is. I'm just catching up. It says here. I've had a crush on someone for some time, but they're currently involved with someone else. Ouch. Okay. And to make it worse, I introduced them to one another. Oh no. Oh God. Oh. Damn. Well, I'm not saying let's make a threesome here. That's a Three of Pentacles. Maybe, oh gosh. Hold on. Okay, so as you can tell, Necessary Truth is picking up something on the reading here. So Melissa, you might want to take note of the notes that are coming out through Necessary Truth. They're often quite spot on with these things. And so the energy of 3 here, it's not unnoticeable, of course, that we're talking about a triangle. So if you look at this in a very esoteric, very spiritual sense, and you've got this crush on someone, but now they're involved with someone else, and you actually made the introduction to the other. Let's say you could say you were doing them a favor and you were doing both of them a favor, and that is your gift. Even if you feel as though you've kind of chiseled yourself out of it, literally chiseled yourself, like you did all that for what? Well, in a very magnanimous kind of, let's say, selfless, generous kind of way, you could say you were doing them a favor and bringing people together who needed to be together. Maybe they're actually maybe they're happy together. And maybe the whole point of the situation is that that's how it is. I mean, things are the way they are. Everything is exactly as it should be. And why is that so? Because it can't be any other way. These are just facts. Like, facts are facts. If that's what it is, rather than beat yourself up over it, maybe just like the little Three of Pentacles is saying to me, it feels like perhaps be detached. Look at the effort is worthwhile. You did someone a favor. You maybe acted like a Cupid, like one of those Cupid intermediary. Like you set them up. Hello you. Let's put you together. And now you're there like, well, wait a minute. That would have worked for me. What about me? And then we come back over here to Necessary Truth. Melissa, don't bother, okay? You are not an option, love, okay? To me, it feels like give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. It's not the end of the world. I'm not trying to squeeze out of the reading here. Obviously, I mean, you wouldn't have put those notes in there otherwise. So you might be a little bit pissed off. But, if you're a very kind, loving person already, and you already know what it's like to love and be loved, you know what that is, would you truly want to deny that to these two people if that's what they have found with each other through you? Just look at it as look at the Eight of Pentacles like a savings account, okay? So instead of looking at it negatively, what was the point? Maybe look at it as you're earning points, you're earning chips, you're planting seeds of love, you're literally creating good karma for down the road, so that you can be on the receiving end of something sweet as well. Something that you deserve, where you don't necessarily have to work for it. It just so-called fate intervenes and you get set up. Perhaps, something like that. And then things harmonize and things balance out. And then you won't have to be living with the frustration of like the Seven of Wands there, like, whoa, like, how am I going to deal with this? To me, it feels like there's no point in dealing with it. It is what it is. And instead, switch attitudes like, okay, well, I'm just, think of yourself as a Cupid. You're in the middle. You're the third party energy, measurable evidence of love. They're over there. They're over there. You're in the middle. You created a little team. And even if you have to watch from the sidelines, and even though it might be uncomfortable now and again, you might have actually done the world a favor. And that goes into your piggy bank. Okay? Oh. Okay. So, do you see your note there, Melissa? Hopefully someone comes in soon that will put me first, okay? And then did you see the line there from Necessary Truth about love thyself first? So that's something I'm not going to preach on any of that right now. To me it feels like that's something to consider, okay? I've done a few readings for people, by the way, private readings when it comes to consultations about love and relationship, especially when it comes to the nodal axis around the first house and the seventh house, or perhaps the Aries-Libra axis, okay? The self and other, okay? Like, for example, someone with a Libra South node, they would naturally, by default, be that person for somebody else. And they would be very unaware of their rights and their abilities and their duty and to honor themselves and put themselves first, okay? So, gosh, it sounds like I'm preaching, Melissa. I don't want to preach, but it's waking up a very sensitive, delicate subject inside of me that I've shared with other people. But in your situation, like, hopefully someone comes in soon that will put me first. So do you see what we're doing here with Necessary? Love thyself first, okay? Put yourself first, okay? Imagine that you have an Aries North Node, okay? And that you're here to learn about putting thyself first. Love thyself. Instead of always being that person for somebody else. I'm not saying you have an Aries North Node or a Libra South Node. All I'm suggesting is to look at this thing that you wrote there very carefully. Hopefully someone comes in soon that will put me first. Okay, so when you put yourself first, you see what I'm going at with this? That can trigger an energy that's sent out into the universe where someone else recognizes that and says, now there's somebody who puts themselves first. I respect that and I honor that. I'm willing to put my time and energy and relationship dynamics toward that person. And you, Melissa, would feel that as someone who puts you first. And that's the whole concept of love thyself. Love you first, okay? Make yourself number one. Love thyself. Do what you know is truly, truly right for you. And that sends out a very, very subtle but also a very powerful aura out there to the universe. And then you can start to attract that which you deserve, okay? Then you can start very gently attracting that kind of person that will put you first. They value you. They value the relationship with you. They're not there to try and get what they can for themselves out of you. They actually respect you. They ask questions. They take your time and energy into consideration before they act on their own behalf. Anyway, I don't want to keep going on with the reading, but I hope we helped you, okay, Melissa? Next up, Cree, what's going on? Gosh, this North Node Gemini thing is being quite prominent lately. We have the North Node in Gemini in the heavens right now. Let's see. Donald Trump has his North Node in Gemini. Someone else just had a North Node in Gemini. And what was it? Something else. Planet Earth has the North Node in Gemini right now. Okay? In terms of the transits right now, we are going through the transit of the North Node in Gemini. It's happening right now. We're about here. We got about another year to go. A year and a little bit more. Oh, by the way, we've got some eclipses coming up soon. Gemini, Sagittarius type eclipses, that kind of thing. Cheers, everyone. All right, Cree. Now, I just put a little heart there because I think, oh, it looks like, you know, we've done a reading before. I'm pretty certain. And it was to do with love. I'm pretty certain. But that was probably months ago. I don't remember the details at all. But it looks to me from your note there on the screen with the emojis that you're dealing with some heartache. Broken-hearted. Oh. Tina has a Gemini North Node. Sarah Lake Miller. Good evening, Sarah Lake Miller. Good evening, good evening, good evening. All right, let's have a look. Haven't seen you for a while, Sarah. Thanks for dropping in. I'm not taking any more readings tonight. I've got Cree, She Reeks of Glam, Robin, and Jennifer. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about all I can handle tonight. I'm taking it very, very gently at the moment. What's that? Are you talking about the time between now and last when you had a reading? You got married since then, but they left without a word? Cheapers. Okay, that's a lot of instability in relationships. So, for example, well, we're going to look at this in a moment, okay? Let me get your cards shuffled in on the deck here, and then we'll get rolling. Oh boy, yeah, Path Traveler is not going to be shy about her opinions on the situation. Thank you, Path. Cree, that's really, truly kind of rude. That's really messed up. That's really messed up. I'm so sorry. Yes, I would be very confused. Jeepers. Let me clear the deck here, okay? Okay, I just have to share something, Cree. Sometimes I just pick things up a little bit. I don't profess to be a psychic medium or anything, but sometimes I pick things up. And I used to be a consultant, like a helper for psychics and mediums. And, you know, many years ago, I used to work in Hollywood and TV and stuff. And that's what I would do. I was what they called a technical advisor for some of these like psychic TV shows. And I would be the guy who sits in the background, very close to the directors and the producer and the talent. And like when things go wrong and the director doesn't know what to do or the talent doesn't know what to do, they can't understand what's happening, then they come and tap on my shoulder and say, hey, listen, can you come over here? We got to sort out this blah, blah issue problem. So as you can imagine, it's kind of spacey, a bit weird trying to do that with psychic mediumship. Like technical advisors, they have like on cop shows or lawyer shows or doctor shows where things are very, very precise, very technical. You know, like their wardrobe or their language or the way they fight or the way they hold guns and whatever it is. That's why they have technical advisors. or for science, sci-fi movies, or for documentaries, or reality or news programs and things like that. So the technical advisor is a very specific role, and that's what I used to do for some of those psychic shows, okay? So what I was sensing, Cree, is that, okay, you're here with us tonight, and you're sharing your story. It's not a pretty story. It's kind of a sad story. In fact, it's kind of tragic. And what I sensed here now is that you're very shaken up by this. Because marriage isn't a joke. Marriage is a legally binding contract. And people go into marriage for all sorts of reasons. They want to have babies, or they want financial stability, or they're passionately connected, but they don't know anything else about each other, or they're forced into it by families and tradition, or or they got pregnant or something. So marriage is different for everybody, but to me it feels like you really got sucked into something here, and it is really, really shaking you up in here to the point where it's almost to the point of shock. Okay, literally shock, because you're not stupid. You wouldn't just walk down the aisle or go into a registry office or a church and get married because you were bored between a couple of episodes on a Netflix show. It's a serious thing. And then, what did he say? He begged you, and then he walked out. I mean, that's, oh God. Anyway, let's get on with the reading. That's traumatic. That's not traumatic, that's traumatizing. To me, it feels like you're very, very shaken up right now. Especially since we're actually talking about it in the open, in public, which I think is a very good thing, okay? I think it's good to air these things, to vent these things. Sometimes we talk about things on this show, these channels, where you can't talk about them with your friends or family or doctors, but you end up with people here on the channel where you can feel very safe and protected, because we deal with stuff like this all the time. So you're in the right place with the right people, okay, Cree? So don't worry about that side of it. I'm not trying to make I'm not trying to trivialize the situation at all. I think the situation is really kind of severe, and I'm feeling the energy of that you are very shaken up by this, okay? So what now? Let's have a look. We're just going to do a situational reading, okay? Use the same old spread that I always do. By the way, for people who get and want personal consultations, I can use more advanced spreads that I have. But anyway, that's another time. Bless you, Cree. Thank you for choosing Tarot Illumination. Let's see what's going on here. I'm sorry about this. You don't deserve this, okay, right, Cree? Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. So we already know the situation, so we're going to kind of go into it in a little bit more. Now, I'm going to look at the weather over here in a moment, too. No matter what this is, we're going to overlay it with this. So right now, as I mentioned before, this has been with us for a while. This energy here is super stressful. To me, I see it as the energy of deception, betrayal, lies, cheating, fraud. Okay? That's what I sense here. This energy here is conflict in relationships. This energy here is deep instability in relationships. That's all of that's being exposed. And then we have this massive loose T-square here, also to do with relationships, where we have the reality check, police, putting tremendous pressure on relationships in general, okay? So, Cree, in some ways, you can blame it on the planets, okay? Let's have a look, see what's going on. So 9 of Pentacles. Okay, my feeling is that it's really, really time, like this is almost feels like an extension of the last read. It's really time to put yourself first and really, really, I would say count your blessings, that you're intact, that you still have a sense of self and integrity and an ability to talk about this in front of other people, okay? And down the road, okay, when I look at the Scorpio energy, okay, it's typically, sometimes it's not very comfortable for people, but it can be a time where you can really go deep into self-healing. Sometimes it's a very hard energy to handle. It involves other people's energy, other people's resources, and it can be one of the most powerful healing energies that exist. The Scorpio energy, when the energy is directed in a healthy way, can be very healing, okay? So it might be an idea, like to look at this right now is a reality check. This is like a reality check. The thing that you've just lived through, that you're living through right now, which is actually kind of shocking, is something that you needed to know so that you could wake up to discover what really counts. And what I think really counts is is self-awareness. Know thyself, become self-aware, in more of a way such that it's really, really important, I would say, to focus on your own well-being, to invest in yourself, put time and energy, resources, your talents and gifts, and invest them into yourself first and foremost, because it looks to me that you might be one of these people who's very, very selfless, and you just unwittingly gave away all your talents, gifts, and resources, your trust, all the things that someone else could want and value. You gave it away, or it even got stolen in some ways. And it's time to recuperate and recalibrate and rebuild yourself as a woman of independence, a person of independence, and so that in such a way that this kind of thing has less chance of happening in the future, so that you have, now that you're aware about how deceptive and chaotic relationships and marriage can be. Remember, this is the axis of marriage. This is the axis of relationship. They're all heavily stressed right now, and it's all in a background of fraud, betrayal, lies, deception. Okay? And the reality check police are coming in very hard, pointing to the reality. So you're dealing with the reality. Okay? The reality is that not only are you very selfless, I don't think there's any sense of self at all, to the point where it's really important now for you, maybe take this whole experience as a very bitter, shocking lesson that you needed in order to become self-aware. Love thyself. It's time to really look at your world, your life, your whole way of being in such a way that you really, literally focus on the self. Like, you wake up in the morning. How many hours do I have in the day ahead of me? They are mine. Am I going to spend it with this person or that person or this thing or that thing? And for what purpose? Try to bring it all towards the self in such a way that works for you. What is best for you right now? And anything that makes it feel like you're either being drained or defrauded or seduced away from the self, where you might be depleted of your resources, that's bad. You just say no. So this experience, it might be, maybe let's just say, let's turn it around. Maybe you needed this to realize how bad things can really get in relationships, And maybe it's better to find out now that you got them married and you were already betrayed and left and they walked out on you before anything of any major consequence happened, like maybe mortgages or babies or debts or joint finances, or that all sorts of things that can get much worse than what you just experienced, even though what you just experienced is pretty shocking. So I'm trying to put a positive spin on it. That Nine of Pentacles, to me, it's like a wake up, okay? It's time to invest in yourself. Put everything first. Like, what am I going to do today? How am I going to do it? If you are in a state of comfort in life where you have a certain degree of comfort already, or such kindness and richness of heart that you have been able to afford to give it away without any accountability, that has to stop. Okay? Right now, everything has to be accounted and accountable. Your time and your energy, your love. If you think of Pentacles as love, how many love tokens do you have in your life? Are you going to squander them? Are you just going to give them away, like putting them down a slot machine and they just disappear? No, it's not allowed. Okay, let's look at the situation. All right, let's have a look. All right. Look at it with the Six of Wands, okay? This is going to sound weird, okay, Cree, but I feel it's my job as a reader. I feel like what this is telling me to tell you is that, Cree, you're okay. This is actually a good thing, as shocking as it is. What's really happening here is that, I mean, this is sort of like the winner card, you know? And it might be time, I mean, you said here, oh, you're right, I'm very selfless, okay? It might be time to realize, like, oh my God, you had to learn in such a really shocking way that it's actually very unhealthy to be so selfless, and that this experience, as shocking as it is, was actually a victory. It's a victory that you can celebrate, that's going to leave an impression, a very shocking, lasting impression that will remind you to love thyself. Consider yourself a winner. Put yourself first. Okay, I'm going to tell you something, and this is another personal thing, okay, Cree? I don't do it so much anymore, but sometimes I used to behave in such a way I wasn't even aware that it was happening, where I would get so immersed in other people's problems, and I'm very good at that, and I realized it was actually a very subtle form of trying to avoid solving my own issues or dealing with my own issues. So take this into your situation. Let's translate now. Your selflessness is not healthy. It's time for you to put yourself first. Always find out, look at your situations, like what is the winning option? What is the winning pathway for me right now? I have to know what it's like to succeed, what it's like to win. So let's just turn this whole situation into a winning situation. The winning situation about it is that you've learned a very painful, blunt lesson in a very shocking way. So that is a huge leap forward in terms of evolution. And what I'm hoping, let's just say, let's not go back, because now you know what it's like to be completely, shockingly, I guess, deceived, betrayed. You know what that looks like now. And you know what they do in a lot of relationship readings? They tell you, oh, you're never going to learn the lesson until you repeat the same horrible, hideous lesson over and over again until you really get it. My feeling is that this lesson is strong enough that hopefully you're not going to have to go through something like this again. So you would consider yourself a winner here. What's the problem? Okay, my feeling is that the problem right now is that the shock is quite destabilizing to the point where it's making you feel like, how on earth am I going to gather my strength again? How am I going to get my act together, my life together going forward from here after such a shock and trauma? Also, there's a bit of what I would call shame and a bit of embarrassment and a bit of denial about just what happened. For example, think of things like, extended friends of family and how those energies kind of ricochet back and forth in the world of relationships. Like, what are other people going to think of me? How am I supposed to progress? How am I supposed to advance if I have now been branded, or I have branded myself unwittingly as someone who has been betrayed and screwed over in marriage? Like, it was over before it even started. Does that mean you're going to be like a pinball in a pinball machine, where you're just going to keep bouncing around, reliving the same experience over and over again, just like you got dinged over the head with a frying pan? No. My feeling here is that you've been dinged and you've woken up, and you are going to wake up. And it's my job here as your reader is to tell you, Cree, you don't have to go through this kind of stuff again. You've learnt the hard way. It's time to move on. Consider this a winning situation. It was all designed. It's all by, let's say, divine ordinance, or what's the word? Divine guidance. This was meant to happen, okay? And then you can treat the whole thing as a lesson. So my feeling is with the Chariot card here, you might have been so destabilized where it makes you feel like, how am I ever going to get up from this? How am I ever going to recover? It's just like that saying, when you fall off a horse and you're hurt and bruised, the best thing to do is just get up and get back on again, okay? It's not the end of the world. You've had a shocking experience. Yes, you might be shaken to the core, like, I'm never going to recover. How am I going to get my own life together? Because if, for example, you felt that getting your life together was contingent upon this marriage, then hopefully you will realize that that is not true. Getting your life together and being your own sovereign self, your own singular personal self, where you have a very good idea of who you are, how you are, and why you are as an independent, singular woman. It doesn't mean single like on the shelf forever, but a singular person, a woman of substance. You might have had to learn the hard way. But right now, in the state of shock, you might be scared that you're not going to recover. That's understandable. But this too shall pass, okay? Well, Cree, he might well come back. But the thing is, you have to ask yourself, do you really want to deal with that kind of thing? Do you really want to deal with that kind of energy? Maybe it is like a pinball. Maybe it's just like a tennis game. It's just going to go back and forth, back and forth. And if you want that, well, that's your choice. It's your decision. If you're thinking, well, what am I going to do now? How's my life going to get together now? How am I going to go? Like if he's already walked out, but you're not technically divorced, that's a problem. How can you remarry again? How can you move forward again? You actually have to get divorce papers served on the fellow and then get them signed so that you can officially legally be divorced. Otherwise, you're kind of legally in an awkward spot. How are we going to deal with this? Okay, so with the Page of Wands here, my feeling is like, accept your innocence. Understand that you are innocent. Understand that you were innocent. Understand that you still have a lot to learn and a long way to go. And there's no reason not to keep going, okay? So yeah, you've been knocked around here a little bit. You've been shaken up, shocked. But life goes on. So with the Page of Wands here, my feeling is you literally shake yourself off and you get up and you move on. I don't see any cards of divorce here, but if you're in this situation where when you've got the kids. So obviously you've got to take care of that. But it might be oh gosh, I know. Ooh, this is getting really awkward. Hold on. So Cree, if you're thinking about you and the kids, and if this gentleman is the father of the kids, yeah, it's something that you really have to think about. On the other hand, I know from experience of having been involved in welfare that there are services out there that you can access as a single mother. And it might actually in some ways be healthier to access some support services from the posture of a single mother. And it might be healthier for you and the kids rather than having to live in a state of perpetual instability, not knowing whether your husband is there or not, especially if he's the father of the kids. The kids deserve some kind of stability, and it might be healthier to establish a certain degree of order. I'm thinking of like the pentacles here. Create a strong sense of order where your sense of getting life together is less contingent upon the marriage or the husband or the ex-husband or the ex-marriage, okay? Okay? So, you see, Pat's putting out there, maybe get some counseling. My feeling is it's really important right now to turn into the energy of the single woman, the single mom. Probably you don't want to be. I can't imagine any single mom who wants to be a single mom. It's really tough to raise kids, but there are services out there, and they are public services, and they are available. And it might be a really good idea to look into it. Phone calls. You can do it from online. You can get started that way. And with the way, the social distancing rules and mandates going on right now, you might be able to do some of it by remote. But either way, there are hotlines and there are social services that deal with these kind of situations. So all is not lost. My feeling is we got to turn this into a winning situation so that you're not vulnerable. You're not constantly outsourcing your life outcomes to this marriage or to this person. That's futile. That's a guaranteed recipe for disaster. Because the mark, the standards, the patterns are already established, and he is who he is. And so my feeling with the reading is to really, really consolidate your energy, put yourself first, treat this as a winning situation. Okay, we got this, we're going to figure it out. You are going to get your life together, and you will do it from a position of innocence, but you will go forward with courage, with inspiration. You can check in here anytime that you want. I'm not a professional guidance counselor with degrees and all that kind of stuff, but I've helped a lot of people in these kind of situations. So, okay, Cree, it's not the end of the world. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, all right. All right, Cree. So my feeling is the story's not over, but what needs to happen is a complete recalibration for you, Cree, where you really seriously start to look at things from the position of being a single mom and then doing what you have to do. Getting the act together, doing what has to be done. First step is maybe a little bit of, free phone counseling, and then looking very seriously into social services of any and all kind, whatever it is. They're out there, okay? Oh, wait a minute. I just saw your notes there, Cree. You've started your own business. That's fantastic. This reading is confirmation. Okay, that's good. Okay, Cree, that's really, really good. So that's very positive. But still, even running your own business, it's still, my feeling, it would still be very good to check into some of the social services out there. You need every bit of help you can get right now, okay? Thanks, Cree. You can check in here anytime, obviously. Okay, She Reeks of Glam over there in Florida. Oh, you're starting nursing school in January 2021. Will I be okay financially? Okay, let's have a look, see what's going on. Thanks, Glam. Thanks, everybody, for your patience. I just do everything in order, as you can see. So if you're last on the list, then just please be patient. After Glam, we've got Robin, and then we've got Jennifer. So nursing school, yeah, I you know, because I've had a lot of care from a lot of nurses. You know, Glam, she reeks of Glam, because I've had a lot of life-threatening illnesses. I've been in and out of hospital. I'm pretty clear right now, but over the last 10 years, I was like right on the edge of it many times, and so I got to speak with a lot of nurses. And I even wrote a chapter about it in one of the books I'm trying to write. But nursing is a very noble profession. I was actually talking to a young fellow over here the other day. He's working at a local cafe, and he's trying to make up his mind whether he wants to go into nursing or into construction. I think both avenues are available to him, and they're very, very different avenues, and it would be starting in 2021. The nursing, of course, is very academic. Nursing these days, you have to do a lot of academic stuff, almost like when you're going to medical school, because nurses these days do a lot more than what they used to do, and the doctors basically come in and do specific things, but almost everything else, from my experience and observation, is done by the nurses. So the nurses have to go through a lot of intense training, but most of the ones that I've met, they feel very rewarded by that. And so it's like the investment is worthwhile, but it is a huge investment, especially if you're doing it off college loans as opposed to grants. Sometimes people stretch it out, where they do, depending on your school, where you can kind of spread it out and you do internships, partly where you get like basic pay, and so you can break it up into stages, so you don't have to just spend your whole time going into debt and then trying to look for the job and then paying off the debt. College loans are very, very expensive. You have to really be sure that you want to get into this. Okay. Well, let's just see what the reading comes up with, okay? She Reeks of Glam over there in Florida. Because from what I can tell, when you put your note there, will I be okay financially? Most of the nurses that I've met seem to be in a position where they can take care of themselves financially once they get through all of that. You know, it takes whatever it is, 4 years at least. I think it's at least 4 years to get through. So you have to be determined, because it's going to take at least 4 years to start paying down college loans, unless someone else is just paying it for you. But the thing is, you know, if you're going away and you got to pay rent to live somewhere and pay food or whatever, it might be an idea to find anyway, if you're worried about finances, start doing the homework now. Start doing the homework right now to find, you know, situations, living situations, accommodations, or whatever, that are very low cost, and so you can keep your overheads as low as possible, but still being with good people. It's very hard to do that, very hard to find it, but it can help you to survive, especially if you're on a really tight budget with a college loan. Okay, so you're on the 2-year program. Okay, so that's not so bad. You can get in and get out. I mean, I'm making it sound easy, but 2 years will feel like a long time. You're going to be spending a lot of time. It's a very demanding profession, I think, to get in and get started. I'm certain you'll do okay, but you really have to think long term. From what I can tell, nurses and nursing, there's always work. So it's kind of one of those noble professions. All right, let's have a look. All right, here we go. All right, we are cut. I'm just going to get a sip of water here. Hold on. Cheers, everybody. Chat amongst yourselves. Delicious. Good old-fashioned water. It is the best. It always will be the best. Keep that out of the way. All right. So what I'm sensing, Shrieks of Glam, is that we've already been talking about your finances and maybe you're concerned about that. But please allow that this mini reading might actually bring up another theme, another issue that needs to be dealt with, okay? That you might not have thought about before you actually came to the show tonight, okay? Now it's already cut, and so I'm just going to go straight for it, all right? Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. Now you mentioned finances over the next few years, but please let's allow that it might be something more than that, or something different from finances. Because I honestly, personally don't think you would be going into it if you did not think you could cope with the finances. Of course it's going to be tough, but you'll deal with it. So, with the Hermit card here, gosh, we've had this theme of singularity almost the whole evening. So with the Hermit card here, my feeling is that it's an indication that no one's going to help you, and you're going to have to figure it out on your own way, in your own time somehow. Like maybe it is like sourcing your own grants. Well, if you already know you're starting soon, then you've probably already sorted out your loans and your grants or whatever. And I think you're going to be the person completely, fully in charge of figuring out how it works for you. So you're probably going to, if you're going to have to go somewhere else out of town from wherever you are in Florida, then you have to figure out accommodations. You have to figure out food. I mean, you get these, stories which are not surprising to me, where someone, they tell these stories like a YouTube story, like how I got through college, 2 years of college by living on my friend's basement floor and eating only ramen noodles out of a paper cup. But I did it. I mean, there are wacky stories like that. I'm not saying that's going to be your story, okay, Glam? But what I'm sensing is that you're on your own here. With the Hermit card here, every step of the way, you're going to be having to be figuring out what you're going to have to do, and you can't rely on anybody. You can't rely on anybody's advice, anybody's support, like even myself. I mean, I can share what I can with you, but ultimately you have to figure it out. You are your own guiding light. You have to, like in some ways, the financial aspect of this story here, to get certified after the 2-year program, is, I would say it's going to be a valuable life lesson, okay? So that whatever you learn, through this very solitary path that you're taking is going to be actually very valuable to you down the road, because you're going to learn a lot about finances. Okay? So, but not just finances. You're going to learn a lot about life. What I'm sensing here is you're going to learn a lot about life, and it would include finances, because you are going to have to be totally independent, taking care of yourself in every way, shape, or form. And yet you will learn a lot from this. It's very, very valuable to understand finances. I have to share something, okay? So, dear She Reeks with Glam, what I've noticed here in America, and because I'm older than you probably, and I have a few dear friends where we're on a sort of a wavelength right now, and we have common interests with money, and we're trying to learn as much as we can about money. And what we observe from our positions in life is that kids, young people, college kids, and people, even people who've gone through college or school or some kind of training program, they are not taught about money, about what money really is and how it really, really works. In the United States, a lot of people are kind of born and raised to believe that you have to have a really good credit score, because the only way that you can survive in life is through debt. Okay? That is not actually true. That's the grooming process. It's like you're groomed through television and marketing and advertising and through other people's behavior, that you have to get a credit card as fast as possible. You have to get a car. You have to get the housing. You have to get and have all these things, most of which are unattainable to a lot of people without debt. And there are other ways to live. Like I watch this fellow on YouTube, and he keeps it very, very simple. And he works with very wealthy people, but he says the principles are the same. Whatever money is coming in, spend less of that and invest the rest. Okay? So, for example, She Reeks of Glam, if you're on a very tight budget, you're going to have to live in a very, very tightly controlled environment. If it's ramen noodles followed by ramen noodles and ramen noodles. And very, very limited, housing or sleeping conditions or whatever. Or maybe you can stay at home. I don't know. Whatever it is, you've got to figure out. You're gonna have to figure out the whole thing yourself. And you're going to have to be 100% responsible for you. Okay? So the financial aspects are very important, especially if you're not a trust fund baby or you didn't get big grants and you don't have a lot of backup resources like rich parents or rich relatives and things, or rich friends and things like that, and you're very much on your own. So whatever you don't know about finances and money right now, treat this as a really good opportunity to really learn about finances. In other words, anytime that you're not studying about nursing, spend a little time every week studying finance, studying investing, studying the markets, studying banking. I would love to give you some tips personally, not right on this show tonight live, but if you want to check in with me, I've learned some very bitter, painful lessons over a long period of time, and I feel happier now because of that, especially when it comes to finances. So that you don't have to suffer as much as you might. Okay, let's see the situation. All right, so you got the Three of Cups here. My feeling is that I don't know how to explain this the way I'm sensing it, but the idea is that it would be very, very handy for you if you could team up with a couple of friends. Maybe it's girlfriends. If you don't know anybody yet where you're getting your program, it might be an idea. Keep your independence. Make sure that you are operating in a very, very independent, self-determined way where you do not trust anyone or anything to your financial stability. You just take care of it all. But on the other hand, it can be helpful to have people on your side. For example, in my life, in order to survive, I've had to live on communes. I've been homeless. I've lived in a mansion. I've lived in all sorts of different ways. And what can be very, very satisfying is to have a shared accommodation where you still have a high degree of autonomy, but like you could be with friends and family or something like that, in a way that's harmonious. If you've got anyone in your world or anyone in the program, or if your training program offers one of those bulletin boards like for accommodations, I don't know if you've seen those, but when I was young and I did school and college and things, and I was kind of on my own just trying to survive, I often found ways to have roommates or teammates or people with whom I felt really good, and I could just enjoy life so that we could, let's say, share the suffering. There was a time where I lived in a forest for about 6 months because I did not want to get into debt. And so I found 2 buddies of mine who loved the idea. And so we camped throughout a winter in a forest. We had 3 tents. One was for sleeping, one was for like storage of clothing, and another one was for storage of things like bicycles and coolers. And it all worked really well. We were extremely poor, but we were very happy and very self-supporting. And it was fun. So we didn't have to be miserable just because we were poor. So what I'm suggesting is, I'm not suggesting is going as extreme as my situation, but perhaps hang out or find 2 others who are very independently minded themselves, and they're looking for ways to cut overheads, cut expenses with someone like you can share, like share a room or share an apartment or something like that with people you like and people who like you, so that you can go through the really tough years, together in a way so that it's not so painful. You still have to maintain your integrity and your privacy. Like, private space is very, very important, okay? Hello, Fritterly. Over here. Now, what's the problem? Okay. To me, it feels, again, this is Pentacles here, so maybe we should focus on the money aspects. To me, it feels like you might be very anxious that you're not going to be able to balance the books, okay? Like, how on earth am I going to balance the books? Money coming in, money coming out. For example, if you're running off a college loan or a college grant, how are you going to manage your finances? Because you're going to have certain finances like textbooks, which are extremely expensive. Is that going to destroy your budget? If you are in a shared situation where you're trying to cut your overheads by sharing with fun people, are you going to be able to hold up your side of the budget? Are the other people going to be able to hold up their side of the budget so that everything is balanced and then there's harmony, and that you're not going to end up being a pauper and carrying somebody else, or that you're not a pauper and someone else ends up carrying you? Neither of those are good. It's very important that you maintain your integrity and learn a lot about finances by living through this. And it's almost like you're getting 2 educations in one. One is an education about finances, learning through experience and gaining wisdom, and the other is to actually get your certifications as a nurse. Okay? There you go, Fritterly. I see your notes there. Roomies. It's fantastic when you find the right people. Having roommates, shared situations, it's great when you find the right people. Okay, so how are we going to deal with this, okay? Okay, so with the death card here, this is an energy of transformation. So, dear She Reeks of Glam, if everything that I've been talking about here is new to you, or it's alien to you, or it's frightening to you, and it's justifiable that you're scared about finances, balancing your books, like if you have a loan, are you going to blow it all in the first year? Are you going to manage your finances very, very carefully? You don't know. If you've been living a life where you've never actually had to deal with the hyper compression and details that happens on a very tight budget, then it might be a very interesting journey of transformation where, let's say you're coming from a place of reasonable comfort right now, and then having to go into this world of nurses training where the budget might be very tight. The way to handle it is to basically say, bring it on, okay? Good night, Path. And bring it on and allow the changes to occur, because to me this looks like it's a no going back situation. In other words, it's like the energy of a chrysalis, okay, with the death card here. It's about entering an energy field, going through a chrysalis phase, and then coming out transformed into something new. The caterpillar goes into the chrysalis and comes out as the butterfly, okay? So, my feeling for you, dear She Reeks of Glam, my feeling is that you're going to be okay, but you might be kind of going way outside of your existing experience or your existing comfort zones as you go through this. If you've got a 2-year program and you're very concerned about the finances, that is very appropriate. You really need to be very, very aware of finances when you're getting things like college loans or college grants, and you have to find a way to survive. Who knows, maybe you have to get a little tiny part-time job on the side or something as well. Maybe you will be living off like ramen noodles and spaghetti hoops and whatever. But you can get by, you can get through. Just make sure you have, I mean, it sounds crazy like I'm your mom, but make sure you have plenty of water and plenty of fruits and vegetables and plenty of sleep and rest. And when you do have to work and study, you don't take too many shortcuts, you don't burn out, and make sure that you have periodic fun every now and again. But to me, like with the death card there, the way to handle it is to understand that you are going to be changed. You will be transformed. Life as you know it, it's going to be a before, a during, and then an after, okay? There's life before nursing school, there's life during nursing school, and there's life after nursing school. And the life before and the life after are going to be completely different. And you won't know anything about this one until you have started here and lived through this. And part of it is the financial education. You're going to be fine with the nursing, I'm sure. But the financial education is very important too. I hope that helps you. Thanks for visiting. If you want to follow up more, please do so. I do private consultations. Just go to tarotlumination.com and you can figure it out from there. So I hope that helps you. Robin, you're up. You're concerned about these 2 Virgo people. Okay. After Robin, we got Jennifer. Good night, Path. Thanks for visiting. We'll talk again soon. Thank you. I see your thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Actually, you know what? I feel like I need a little mini break here. We've been going for a few hours. I need a little beverage. And I'm going to play a little song in between. I'm going to play a song called Taste Your Dreams, okay? I have a few little acoustic songs that I play here now and again that I wrote a while ago. This one's called Taste Your Dreams. Okay, so it sounds like this. I will be back very, very shortly, so hang in, Robin, hang in, Jennifer. We will get your reading, but I just need to go get a top up, okay? Sounds like this. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button. Excuse me. No, I have to get out of this. I pressed the wrong button. Duh. Okay, I need, oh, come on. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Let's see if I got this. Okay. Hold on.
If you wish for a simple miracle, if you wish you can have one right away, all you need is some faith, is the will. Ask for it and it will come to you today. Hey, hey, I want you to be oh so happy. I want you to be your higher self, yeah. I want you to live and die laughing. Taste your dreams today. Taste your dreams this way, yeah. Na da 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 da, na da 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 da, na da 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 da. And if you wish to be in a state of grace, ask for it and it will meet you face to face. And if you wish, if you dare to dream, you will find that it's easier than it seems. Hey, hey, I want you to be oh so happy. I want you to be your higher self, yeah. I want you to live and die laughing. Taste your dreams today. Taste your dreams this way, yeah. Oh, na da 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 ba da 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 la da 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 la da 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 oh la da 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 oh yeah. I want you to be oh so happy, yeah. I want you to be your higher self, yeah. I want you to live and die laughing. Taste your dreams today. Taste your dreams this way. Taste your dreams this way. Taste your dreams today.
Okay, I think we got that. Give me a second, I gotta just check something here, folks. And I will be there with you all in a moment. And I've got something here. I've got to just double check. All right, that's perfect. And got it. Okay. All right. Super duper. Going back over here. Clickety click. I'm just pressing a few Tarot Illumination buttons. And now I should be back. All right. Let's have a look. Yes, we're back. Okay. All right. Queen of Water's here. Yay! You arrived just at the end. I've got 2 more readings. I've got a reading for Robin. Robin's Realms readings. By the way, Robin is a reader. If anybody needs another reading from another reader. And I've got another reading here for Jennifer Rubino. Now, wait a minute. Did I get this right? There was a... Can I just ask a question of the viewers? Jennifer, are you the one who put the donation in through PayPal? Is that right? Somebody put a donation in through PayPal under a different name. Just want to make sure I got everything right here. So let's see. Yeah, okay. Anyway, here we are. I'm just having a little top up. Cheers, everybody. And let's just connect. Okay. Let's go over here. Hi, Queen of Water, over there in Australia. Actually, I've started getting little news clips from one of your TV shows. It's called, I think it's Sky News Australia or something like that. Because they are showing things over there in Australia about the American situation that we can't find on the news here. The mass media here is not reporting a lot of the things that are actually going on here. So I'm checking other news sources outside the country. Okay, so just wanted to check a couple of things. Well, it's just one thing. Jennifer, I hope you're still here. Are you the one who put in a donation through PayPal through tarotlumination.com? If so, that is confirmed. Thank you. But I just want to make sure that you're the right person that I'm going to be reading for as Jennifer. Okay? All right. Cheers, everybody. Now let's go over here. I have to make some room. And this can go over here. Perfect. Yeah, actually, Queen of Water. You say you like that I support other channels. Some don't. So, viewers, in case you're wondering, Queen of Water is an energy healer. Okay. And Robin is a reader. Path Traveler is very intuitive. Necessary Truths is also a medium, as far as I recall, if I get my screen names correct. And Love Triber does very distinctive, what are they called? Destiny readings as well. And it's all available. I'll be happy to hook anybody up with you. Okay, thanks, Jennifer. So it's not you, but anyway, maybe it was She Reeks of Glam. Maybe that's who it was, under a different name. Anyway, I think we're all good. Yeah, so we got the right donations with the right people. Okay, so let's have a look here. Let me just double check. Give me a second. I asked for your patience. I just want to scroll back. Something in the chat here. Where is it? Okay, I see your notes there, Jennifer. Got it. Thank you. So that was actually a super chat. Okay, super fine. All right, but for Robin, we are dealing with these Virgo people. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I don't know if there's anybody. There's probably only very few people here. There's 10 people here. Okay, so I just had an idea, because I'm only doing these shows like once a week at the moment. I've got the Sunday night mini readings here on the Pacific West Coast. I also have a little chat show that I do on Wednesday where I just kind of vent my feelings and opinions about, the global situation. But I've been noticing more and more people coming to the channel for readings that I've never seen before, and it might be convenient. I was thinking of maybe doing another show perhaps on Thursdays, maybe at noon Pacific time, where I could offer more, mini readings for people. I'm probably just going to try it as an experiment. I don't do a lot of promotion and marketing for this channel, as you probably noticed. So in order to, let's say, act on the feelings that I'm getting, I might start offering another show on Thursday noon to cater for folks on other parts of the world who might want to have a mini reading, because I'm working over here on Pacific time on a Sunday night, so that doesn't work for a lot of people. For example, in Western Europe or the East Coast of America. But anyway, it's just an idea. All right, let's hang in. Let's see what's going on here. Robin's Realms readings. Okay, so I'm hoping that you're recovering from that crazy incident a while ago when the sprinklers went off. And now you're dealing with 2 Virgos, okay? I gave you some of my notes a little bit earlier. Tarot Thursday, yeah, I see that. Where, Robin, I was just commenting off the top of my head about, dealing with Virgo energy. Nothing good or bad, I'm saying. It's just that, Virgos are known for their perfectionism, their analytic approach to things, their scientific approach to things, and how everything has to be just right. Hello, Necessary Truths. I see you're still here. If I'm correct, would it be okay to let folks know that you are one of the regulars who acts as a medium? And if you want to share that with people. Oh, Queen of Water, your name is in blue. That's like the blue from being a moderator. Luckily, we haven't had any attacks tonight from scary people. All right, Robin, I think we're good to go. Let's see what comes up here. Okay. So regarding these, I guess, upcoming dealings with these 2 Virgo people, what kind of story do we have coming out here? Okay, for the people who are still here watching, in case you're not aware of it, Necessary Truths is an active medium. Okay? Just letting you know. And I can do introductions here if you want to. You can write to me at alittlebookabout at Yahoo, or you can go to the tarotlumination.com website, for example. Like, where is it? It's over here. And you go to the tarotlumination.com website and you can see pages for arranging your meetings, a donation, your bookings, a membership, and contact, and so on. All that good stuff. Just saying. So, I can set, somebody wants to get in touch with, to get a reading with a medium, you can do that. I'm going to keep going a little bit more, Robin. I kind of got off track there, got a little bit distracted. Okay. All right, now we're good. Very straightforward. Have you written any new songs lately, Robin? By the way, everybody needs to know that Robin writes some very sweet acoustic music. I don't know if she puts it on her channel or not, but Robin's Realms Readings, as far as I recall, that's an actual channel. Anyway, here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. All right. Regarding these Virgos, let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to refer to the planets in a minute, but I want to see what this is. Okay, so I've got the Ten of Wands here, Robin. My feeling is that it doesn't matter how much work you put into trying to find resolution or sort things out with these two Virgos. The more work you put in, the less rewarding it will be. Chances are that it's not worth it, whatever it's concerning. And it's almost like you're setting yourself up for a fall. Like it might be, you might feel that you have a very noble cause, a very noble reason to pursue this. And, you know, in theory you can. But you have to figure out, is it worth it? Because it feels to me like you're putting, if you're not careful, it might be where you're, what's the expression? You're, I forgot the expression. Let me go back to this chart, okay? Regarding these meetings with these Virgo people, at this very moment in time, there is a lot of conflict and instability in the world of relationships. Like as soon as you feel you got something locked down, you discover something else is happening. There's a lot of room for betrayal, lies, deception, fraud, underhandedness, lies by omission, by not telling things, by not revealing certain truths. Relationship dynamics are under a lot of pressure. The reality check police are pushing very hard on any kind of relationship right now to make sure that everybody knows where they stand. And whatever is flawed or broken in the relationship dynamics would become apparent or should become apparent. And if it's not apparent, it needs to become apparent, because otherwise it's just a futile effort for very little worthy outcome or cause or reward, okay? So you don't want to break your back over this situation, okay, Robin? So be very careful. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? All right, so with the Page of Swords here, you might feel as though no matter what, it is your duty to call out the truth. It is your duty to, you know, I sometimes think of this as a whistleblower, okay? It's your duty, like no matter the outcome to yourself, whistleblowing might be the appropriate thing here. Maybe you need to blow the whistle on somebody. Maybe you're scared that someone's going to blow the whistle on you. My feeling is that you're the one in the position of strength here. On the other hand, you have to figure out, is it even worth bothering at all? Like, let's just say you're feeling this urge to be, let's say, a bit of a vigilante. Like, I want to get even with these people. These people need to know what's actually going on. We need restitution. We need to sort things out. I am Robin, and I need things to work out the way they should work out. And the only way that can happen is by me presenting the truth here. But then with this overall energy, you have to wonder what is actually the truth. The truth from your perspective might be very, very straightforward. But from their perspective, they have a totally different concept of what the truth is. And To me, it looks like no matter how you might package it or how you might present it, like if there's some hostility that's going on between you and these other Virgos, then you have to figure out, is it even worth bothering? Is it even worth bothering because of having to put so much effort just to make a point? Is it actually worth it? You know? Is it worth your while trying to find resolution, truth, honesty in a situation where it might just be a waste of time and energy? Okay, let's have a look. What's the problem here? Oh, okay. So to me it feels like by the revealing of certain perhaps truths or realities or perspectives or knowledge or information, you might lose. I don't know if you have anything going on with the Virgo people that is beneficial to you, or that would be beneficial to you if you had harmonious relationships or harmonious meetings. But my feeling is that you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, if you do call out the truth, if you do bring up the subjects that you want to have dealt with in these meetings, even though you might be coming from a position of righteousness and good intention and vigilance and everything, you have to figure out, is it worth it? Because it might be that you lose everything. I don't even know if you care whether you lose these people or lose whatever there is in the relationship. But if you have some hopeful outcomes that are good and beneficial and bountiful for you, Robin, in these meetings, so let's say the meetings work out well, then you would have a chance to, I guess, enjoy the benefits between yourselves and each other, between you and them, and between them and you, and make something of it, something to be proud of. However, if whatever it is you're going to be meeting about has something inside of it, like where the okay, it unfroze itself. I don't know what happened. Are you going to be sacrificing any kind of relationships or harmony or community or sense of camaraderie and shared resources or shared benefits? Are you going to lose that by going into a meeting or talks or negotiations where you reveal certain truths that you feel need to be revealed? You have to figure out, is it even worth it? Is it worth it? What's it worth to you, Robin, to be right? Is it worth having anything to do with these Virgo people? If they are already very valuable to you and you have a lot vested in the relationships, then you would have to figure out, again, is it worth going into a contentious situation where like you feel you want to air some grievances or something, or bring certain things to truth, and then by doing so it actually ends up messing everything up? Do you want to risk that? Let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this? Okay, actually I'm kind of relieved to see this, Robin. This is the Queen of Swords. My feeling is that the relationships might not be worth it. And the way to handle it is say what has to be said, live in truth, live in your own truth, live in your own subjective truth, preferably, hopefully, live in universal truth. Be pure, honest, and true to yourself. Understand that it's been, a challenge to get to this point. Understand that by let's say, dealing with reality, dealing with the truth, speaking the truth, you're going to lose friendships, relationships that you might have had a lot of time and energy invested in. But if all of that, if whatever you've got that's good with these Virgos, if it's based on things that are shaky or not worth it, or things that never ever really were worth it in the first place, then it looks to me like you're better off without. Do you remember that song from 20 years ago? Like a little disco dance song. You're better off alone. Bum, 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 bum. You're better off alone. So the Queen of Swords here is sending you a strong message. Dear Robin, speak the truth. Live in truth. Subjective truth, your truth, universal truth, all of it. And enough with the bullshit. Okay? Bullshit walks. Okay? It's got to go. So if it means letting go of people or relationships that you thought or might have had value, where you might have invested a lot of time and energy and resources, and you thought you had something that was good and fun and valuable and wholesome and worthy and had a mission and a reason and a meaning and purpose to it, only to discover that it's not really quite so, then you're better off alone. You're better off without. You might be better off separating yourself from them or allowing them to separate you from themselves. However it works, it looks like you're better off alone. No harm, okay? Doesn't mean you have to hurt their feelings or other people have to hurt your feelings. It looks to me like the Queen of Swords is very definitive. Literally, bullshit is unacceptable. And if that means goodbye, everybody. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Mama. Oh. Okay, I don't know why I'm talking in songs. I'm talking in songs because Love Triber talks in songs. Okay? And I learned that stuff from Love Triber. Love Triber is one of the people visiting the show tonight. Anyway, Robin. You know, we talked about earlier where the Virgo energy can be so precise and so, let's say, if you can't nail it just perfectly according to the Virgo perspective, chances are there's no hope because you can't please them enough, okay? And like the harder you try, the less worthwhile things become, okay? Okay, it looks okay. I've just seen your note there. It says, Robin is saying, I saw, felt, and almost learned too late that they were using me. I walked after 3 X's 3 times. After the 3rd time, I'm good. Okay, so to me, Robin, it looks like you're done with these people. You don't need them in your life anymore. Just be done. Out. Gone, gone, gone. No hangovers, no residuals, no makeup, no karma, no leftover karmas, nothing like that. Just snip. And then use the healing power of you. Bye. Bye. You don't need people using you. Luckily, you figured it out. So, bye-bye. It's too much. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. They're not worth it to you. You don't need them. Say bye-bye. Either directly or indirectly. If it's directly, if you actually have to use the healing power of no, then do so. If you do it indirectly and passively, just walk away. And if they come at you, delete, delete, delete. Emails, phones, text, whatever, harassing you, whatever schemes or plans, delete, delete, delete. Walk away, no shame, no apologies, nothing. Bye, bye, bye. All right, there you go. I hope that helps, Robin. You'll be fine. Jennifer, you're up. So, flipping the bird. Yes, that's what it's called. Flipping the bird. Ooh, that's nice. Robin just said, I came home and God rewarded me incredibly. Doesn't get much better than that. Queen of Water. I put a spell on you. I put a spell on you. Anyway. So, what was that? I just saw that. The putting in the... Sarah Lake Mitchell is saying, talking in songs keeps me sane. I know I'm not an expert at it, but the only reason I mentioned it is because Love Triber mentioned it. And like she has a song for every situation. You can literally talk in songs, song lyrics, song titles, okay? All right. Let's go. Let's get back. We got work to do. All right, Jennifer, you're up. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I have to do a quick scroll back through the chat to see if I can figure out if you've put any notes there. I forgot. It says here, I'm just reading it for the people who can't see the chat. It says here, hi TL, I would like a mini read. You were spot on with my energy last time. Thank you. All right. Well, I think we can do that. I'm going totally blind, of course. I have no idea what's going on here. Not in a bad way. It's just that when I do blind readings, it's better that sometimes I just don't know. And then the story just comes out and unfolds just the way it should be. And then you can reinterpret it in the details, however you want. It's your reading. All right. Oh. So I got a thank you note just there from Robin. She says, thanks, my friend. You were spot on. Good. Sometimes it's difficult to exercise the healing power of... This means no. And like Path Traveler would say, no is a sentence. Okay? It has full and complete meaning. It has a beginning and a middle and an end. It sounds like this. No. And you don't have to explain it or justify it or say, well, no, or like, no. You can just say, no. And that's it. Done. Practice in the mirror, okay, Robin? Just practice in the mirror. Just practice saying no. Some people are really, really good at saying no. Anyway. All right, Jennifer, let's have a look. All right, here we go. Let's shuffle it up. Everybody chat amongst yourselves, dance amongst yourselves, heal yourselves, give yourselves each other a reading. That's fine. It's fun. Let's keep going over here. Jennifer's over there in New Jersey. Gosh, that's just reminding me. I have a friend, my buddy Michael is in New Jersey. We need to chat. I'm going to have to send him an email. And then we'll have our usual chat. Haven't done that in months. Excellent, Fritterly. Fritterly is writing out there, describing in the notes a classic behavior of using the healing power of no in the effective way. Just no. Bye. History. A Love Triber has come out with a more emphatic version of no. Okay? Oh, yeah. All right, Jennifer, let's see what's going on over there in New Jersey. I hope you're still here. I saw you write in earlier that you were not the PayPal private donor on the website. It's okay. All right, Jennifer, here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it, and let's have a look at the weather for you too. We're going completely blind. I hope you don't mind. All right. Okay. So clearly we're at a kind of a, I would say, I don't know if it's a crisis point, but obviously something profound is happening in the world of relationships. And some people associate this with relationships, but also with significant chapters in life where you have to make profound decisions. A lot of decisions are, what's the word? Exclusive. That's one of the things about computers and the whole idea of the zeros and ones that they use in computer code. I'm not an expert, don't quote me, but ultimately computers, what they do is they make millions or trillions of decisions that always lead to an outcome. In computers, there's no yes or no or maybe. It's just yes or no. 0 or 1 or 1 or 0. And if it is a complex process, then it means that they have to go through lots of zeros and ones to ultimately get to a final decision, which is either a 0 or a 1, and then you get your outcome. So, Jennifer, if you're in a situation either with relationships or just with some very significant chapter in your life where you are at a crossroads and you're going to have to make some tough decisions, knowing that if you go this way, then these options are no longer available to you. Then knowing also that if you choose this way, then these options are no longer available to you. And there's no in between, okay? That's what I was trying to talk about. There's a new course they've opened up at some college over in San Francisco, probably Berkeley or somewhere. It's called The Science of Decision Making. It's a very, very important thing to understand. The science of decision making. Also, one of the characteristics about the decision making here is that partly it's divinely ordained. In other words, you can't escape this. This is something that you have to deal with. You have to face this in your life right now. And the decision requires an understanding that if you go over here, Jennifer, it's all or nothing, okay? And when it's all or nothing, it comes with, let's say it's with a person or a job or a location or something. It comes with all of you, all your strengths and all of your baggage, all of your weakness and limitations and fears and all of that. And it's the same over here. If you go this way, it comes with all of you. All your strengths, but also all your baggage and limitations. And if it's a relationship, let's say you're dating or engaging, getting engaged or something, and let's say it's divinely ordained, it's also on the understanding that you get all of me, baggage and everything, and they get all of you, baggage and everything. So you accept them with all their baggage, and they accept you with all your baggage. They accept you with all your qualities, you accept them with all their qualities, okay? So that's why the Lover's card is kind of a significant card. Also, let's go back to this again, because the energy of relationships is so emphasized right now, and it's very, very stressed right now. It's probably very appropriate that you're getting this reading right now, Jennifer, for whatever decision-making or relationship dynamics you're thinking about. But let's say it's for marriage or something. And you know, you understand that when you make the decision to get married, it can be one of the most rewarding and wonderful decisions you make in your whole life. And it can also be one of the worst decisions you make in your whole life. Marriage is associated with the 7th house. Okay? It's the house of open enemies. So let's say you married with good intent, and then you discover that your spouse is a cheater, fraudster, an abuser. Okay? What you thought was the best thing, like married, having a life and love and everything, turns out to be a nightmare. And it's right in your face. There's nowhere to hide in a marriage type situation. It's right in your face. So that's why the Lover's card is so important. And I don't think it's a coincidence that whatever it is you're, thinking about, the decisions, you're dealing with it in very, very stressful aspects right now. So I think it's important that you find out anything and everything about the situations that you are considering, because you don't want to end up in a situation where you discovered that the whole thing was a sham, it was all fake, it was all lies, or that the love was based on lust as opposed to genuine harmonic love, or that the love is not based on what can I get out of you or what are you going to get out of me, my money or your money or my money, and am I going to have to sleep with you to get the money? Are you going to have to sleep with me to get my, whatever it is are you going to be making babies? Are you planning for the long term? Whatever it is, you need to know the full depth of what you're dealing with here. This is not a trivial matter. What's the situation? Oh gosh. So with the 2 of energy here, to me it just amplifies everything that I've just said on a much louder scale. You have to be extremely careful, Jennifer. Whatever it is you're involved with right now, if you're thinking of committing to something or someone over here, I don't know, like a mortgage or a loan or a car or a person or a relationship or a job or a location, a new career, whatever it is, you got to think very, very, very carefully. You got to balance out the pros and cons. Like, what happens if I go this way? Really, seriously, figure it out. What if I go this way? What are the fuller implications? And then, well, what happens if I go this way? What are the fuller implications? Am I going to lose by going this way, or am I going to gain? Am I going to lose? Am I going to gain? In other words, you can't make any decisions without doing a lot of homework. Let's put it that way. And you might also be in a situation where it's very difficult to make the decisions, because there might be a lot of qualities and opportunities on this side that you can't get on this side. On the other hand, you might have certain qualities and opportunities on this side that you can't get on this side. Very tricky. Yeah. Good night, Crete. I see you. Thank you. Take care. You'll be okay. All right, Jennifer. Hold on. Give me a second. What's the problem here? Okay, so we got the Hierophant. If you're looking at some kind of marriage or a formal agreement where you are being locked in by contracts, you need to be very, very aware of what you're getting into. Okay? So, because to me it looks like binding contracts, binding agreements done the old-fashioned way. So that, let's just say, for example, it's a marriage, and you're considering going into that, or like it's a business agreement or a business contract, or you're buying a home, or something that involves a very serious contractual arrangement, contractual agreement between yourself and another party, or other parties, and you, whatever it is. You need to be very aware that these are going to be like what I would call traditional binding agreements in a way that could, in theory, work out very well if you choose the right way and you're with good people, the right place with the right people for the right purposes and all of that. On the other hand, sometimes like if you are... Hold on, I just want to click something here. I've got something fixed on the chat. Give me a second because it's popping up. Hold on. Oh, it just kind of disappeared. All right, anyway. So, over here, we've got the Hierophant in this position of what's the problem. So the problem itself might be the fact that we're dealing with something serious and profound and that it's contractual. It isn't just a relationship or a decision of convenience. It looks to me like there is a requirement of commitment, and there are consequences and obligations, serious long-term consequences and obligations of entering into some kind of contract or commitment, okay, in a very formal, traditional way. So, again, the message to me is getting louder and louder. You need to be very, very careful about your decision-making process right now. If you go this way and you're contractually bound over here, what does that look like? If you go this way and you're contractually bound over here, what does that look like? You need to be very aware, fully transparent. You need full transparency here in terms of what you're dealing with. Let's have a look. How are we going to deal with it? Okay, my feeling is that it would be very healthy and appropriate for you to ask more questions before you make any decisions. Okay? You need to find out more facts, more knowledge, more information. You need to find out the truth of what's going on, either in this way or that way. Let's just say it's a marriage, or getting engaged or something, or starting a business. In order for you to have a better chance of making better decisions that work for you, because what's best for you is what's best for the whole world. It's just that it looks like these are serious commitments and situations here, and one excludes the other. Okay, so you need to find out. The only way you can do that is to find out. So to me it looks like you're going to have to do more digging, more investigating, more truth-seeking, more asking for more transparency, asking for more disclosure. Okay? Contracts, paperwork, small print, all those kinds of things. Terms of agreements, all those kinds of things. Okay? It looks like a very serious reading to me. Okay, Jennifer? It looks like a serious reading. And the way to deal with it is in a very serious, kind of neutral, truthful way. I think the Page of Swords there is an indication the way to deal with it is to come out with some perhaps very blunt, awkward questions. You're like, okay, let's say you're in a conversation, whether it's a business thing or an engagement or something. You don't want to just sit there and go, oh, okay, hold on. All right. No, that's not going to work. You need to look at the contracts. You need to look at the implications. You need to look at the small print. You need to look at the terms of agreement. You need to look at the risk-reward disclosures. You need to look at any kind of disclaimers on the contract. Disclaimers are the way that people who present contracts protect themselves from things that are going wrong or could go wrong. Okay, so those are really important things. Look at the facts, look at the details, look at the books, look at the information, look at the projections, get impartial third-party references or something like that. Read the small print. Check out the disclosure agreements. Check out the non-disclosure agreements. Check out the disclaimers. Okay, all of those things. You have to do all of that before you sign anything, before you make a decision one way or another. Otherwise, you'll regret it. I hope that helps. Let's have a look. All right. I don't know how it works for you guys who are watching the show, but you know, I know I can see the chat over here. I've got a monitor over there, so I can see the chat. But when I'm doing the readings, I don't really look at the chat. I'm just focused on the reading. But I also know some people watch these shows on devices where you can't actually see or do the chat. So, Jennifer, I don't know if you're here. I know you were here earlier because you said you were. And I asked you, are you the one who put it in through PayPal by my website? But you said no. So I know you're still here. I hope I didn't hurt anything to offend you or say anything to offend you or hurt you. I hope this reading helps you. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm just cleaning up the deck. All right, let's leave it at that, folks. It's been a pleasure to read for you all. Hope to see you guys next week. And some new people and all of that. I like having regular clients, of course. But I also love working with new people. That's fine too. I'm just going to check out and hang out with you guys for a while now. Okay, I think we finished the last reading there. I've tried to hint earlier on that I'm not going to do a lot of readings tonight. I'm trying to take it very gently. We're just coming into the new moon energy. To me, it feels very, very deep, tender, serene. Okay. What's that? Oh, Jennifer, hi, there you are. It says, okay, let me read that. It says, okay, Necessary Truth is putting some notes there. Do you see all those? Can you see all those notes there, Jennifer? Truth will set you free. The Page of Swords is also the cutting card. She's also saying, you got this, Jennifer. Get to the truth. Don't waste your time with jugglers. Don't waste your time with three-party situations. You've got this, love. And then Jennifer is writing, for people who can't see the chat, Jennifer is writing, thank you, TL. Yes, that's a good message there. Truth's interesting. Coincidence with your name there. Necessary Truths. Yep, got it. And then Necessary is saying, Jennifer, the truth will set you free. Okay. Nice one. Thank you, Necessary Truth. Thank you, Jennifer. All right. Otherwise, how's everyone else doing? I'm pretty much done for the night. I'm not really going to do any more readings, but if anyone has any sudden quirky oddball issue for the last moment, please type it in right now. Otherwise, I'll just start wrapping it up, okay? Got a few minutes. Cheers, everyone. It's funny when we do these shows, we never know what's going to come up. Anything and everything comes up. And that's kind of the fun part. Hello, look who just showed up. Elizabeth Boucher. I would like to go by Soul Teacher. Elizabeth wants to be known as Soul Teacher. Yeah, Soul Teacher. Hello, Elizabeth Boucher. We should have a conversation soon. I think I've introduced Elizabeth to everyone before. Elizabeth Boucher is a writer, and she's in the middle of a really powerful book. I'm lucky because I've seen a few of the pages and a few of the chapters. Whew! Heavy duty, man. Riveting stuff. Eventually it will come out to the public. All right, there's just a few people. Let's just see who's here. Okay, all right. Let me go back to the stage for a second just to wrap it up. All right. So, I guess what I'm doing now is like wishing everybody well for the next 2 weeks ahead, because we just had the moon over here, Scorpio. It's already moved into Sagittarius, and in 2 weeks from now, what's going to happen is the sun is going to be in Sagittarius, and the moon is going to be 2 weeks from now in Gemini. And if I'm not mistaken, that's an eclipse. Oh boy. An eclipse on the Gemini Sagittarius axis. Let me just see something from this little book here. It might have some notes. I wish I had my really proper ephemeris and stuff, because I had so much information. Give me a second. I'm just going to flip through. The 15th, 16th, blah, blah, blah. Sun enters Sagittarius. And then, where is the full moon? There's Thanksgiving. Here it is. Okay, so on November 30th, yeah. Anyway, I haven't done much preparation for it, but we are having an eclipse coming, okay? See this? The sun is in Scorpio right now. It's going to switch over here to Sagittarius in a few days. And in 2 weeks from now, the next lunar event will be the full moon lunar eclipse. Okay? Sun will be in Sagittarius. The moon will be 14 days later over here in Gemini. So it's going to be the Sagittarius Gemini full moon, which is going to be triggering the eclipses. Okay? That eclipse is going to hit somebody we've all heard of. His name is Donald. He has a very powerful north node. So things are going to get really freaky over here in America with American politics. Okay? And also, any of you tonight who've already told me that you have, I think it's a Gemini north node, please be prepared for things to start lighting up for you in your life right now. Keep an idea about what's happening. You know what I say about eclipses? Eclipses are like evolutionary gateways. You come in one door of an, you know, like those two-door elevators where you have a door on each side of the elevator. You can come in this side and you go out that side. I think that's how I think of eclipses. You go into the elevator on this side, the door's shut. The elevator goes up and the door opens, but it's on this side. So you go through this evolutionary leap. You come in here and you go out here, and you can't go back. So that's what's happening. And I believe we're going to have another eclipse 2 weeks later. I'll have to double check, but yeah. Anyway, so start preparing, people. This energy is very, very sweet here. So I highly recommend you take advantage of the really sweet, powerful energy between the Scorpio Sun and all this Capricorn stuff, because that's the way to handle all this incredibly stressful thing here. The Scorpio energy would typically behave in ways that are probably very secretive, private, and subdued, and they would probably allow everyone and everything that's not working to make their mistakes, and then the Scorpio would just stay out of the way and move through life, rather than getting sucked into all of this, because this is like going into a fish tank full of piranhas. You don't need that. You can still function outside of the fish tank full of piranhas and go forward. Let all this stuff happen, and you just take care of your own business. You don't even have to be a Scorpio. I'm just trying to tune into the energy for you. Just take advantage of this richness between the Scorpio energy. We've had it for a couple of weeks now. We've got it for another week or so. So take advantage of that, because that's where the sweet spot is right now. And give yourself permission to, basically what I would do is step back and observe, rather than jump into this pool full of piranha fish. You don't need that. Okay. I'm going to play one of my Tarot Lumination songs. And then we're going to start wrapping it up and get going here. So have a look. Where are we? Oh yeah, hold on. I pressed the wrong button. Alright, okay, where am I? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so I'm just going to play a little Tarot Lumination song. It's called Love is the Word. And I kind of play it to myself sometimes to cheer myself up and get myself all kind of pumped up. I see it as a kind of like a sort of marching stomp kind of song. Because like when I lived in England and I was a little kid, I loved going to those English churches because they're always full of songs and hymns. And I really loved like the big organ music playing very loud, and then 150 people singing the tune. And the British people are very good at creating these really powerful, epic, moving tunes. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do with this song. I wanted to create that kind of feeling with this song, of like empowerment, like an empowering type of hymn. Like if you could play it in a church. I know it sounds crazy because I'm not that religious, but I would love to hear this song like played in a church, sung by a choir. Okay? So it sounds like this. It's called Love is the Word. And the first line of the lyrics is like, I become alive before the sun does rise. And when the sun does rise, I reach up for the skies. And so on and so on. I hope you can hear the words and enjoy them. I will try and set this up for you now. And it's what I play to myself to get myself in the groove to face the day. It sounds like this.
for the skies. Opening my hands to welcome in the day. Gather in the sun's rays before I'm on my way. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, numb is the word. Moving through the day, pray no accidents arise. Giving thanks to heaven that I am still alive. Blessing my enemies, blessing the ones I love. Praying for forgiveness for any damages I've done. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole. Casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, numb is the word. Now the day is done and moon is on the rise. My trials and tribulations all bottled up inside. I summon in the numb as I reach up for the skies. I command all fear and shadows be gone before my eyes.